Hypocrisy.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota, and I do particularly apologize for the lateness tonight. I was not intending to be late. I had fallen asleep while Lady Rackets and I were watching some TV. So that is what happened there. Whew. Try to give you guys a little more heads up than no time at all, but we did. We did it. Okay, so hold on. I'm trying to do all of the things that I need to do in a day in 30 minutes is tough. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I think we're almost all set. Well, I got to set up my fourth screen. Okay, so I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know what is going to happen with this live stream because it is entirely possible that YouTube will take this live stream down mid-show. And I have no idea if that's a thing that will happen or not. Let's see. But oh my gosh, trying to get all my windows organized. But yes, this show is being simulcast to Rumble and to Odyssey as well. And we'll see how it goes. It is possible that my copyright strike will be implemented in the middle of this broadcast. And if it is, then then I will humbly suggest you go either to Rumble or to Odyssey. Also, just so people are understanding this, I'm not there may be some impression that because I'm promoting the Rumble that I'm not doing Odyssey anymore. That is not true. Odyssey is still alive and kicking. The Odyssey people are still great people. I don't mean the chat. The Odyssey chat is a pile of trash, right? Like, you guys are terrible, horrible monsters. But the Odyssey team developing the website is still great. So people should not mistake my promotion of the recent Rumble edition as somehow degrading the Odyssey thing. The Odyssey channel will still be streaming, has been, and it's really, really wonderful. They've got a great platform, and I think they've even got some new stuff coming down the pike. Pike? Is it coming down the pike or coming down the pipe? Which one is it? Code the Naked Space Hero says you have 2 Rumble channels. Yes. Am I on the wrong one? I can't fucking. There's a weird thing. So Rumble makes you create a profile and then a channel also. So I hope this one's on the right thing. I think they streamed the same spot. We'll see. I don't know. I'm streaming as me. But yeah. 'Cause, 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 but whatever. I know the Rumble stream is up. I know that much. And I don't know if it's which one it's streaming on. Oh, fuck me. It's on the wrong one. Damn it. Oh boy. Okay, well, that's a learning opportunity for me here. They're the same account. It's one of the things that I'm not a big fan of. One of the confusing things about Rumble that I think is very clunky is that you create a Rumble account and then you have to create a Rumble channel in the in the account. So the video goes up on both after the stream is what I'm hearing. Okay. Well, I mean, it is my channel also, but that's one of the confusing things that that hopefully they fix. I don't know. Getting used to it. Getting used to that. So, well, we'll see how it goes. I'll try and get that cleared up. I do see the Rumble audience is growing quite dramatically, even though I've got it on the wrong channel like a stupid boomer. We got 539 over on Rumble, quite a few over on Odyssey. I can't see because I have the Odyssey chat popped out and I don't have the Odyssey stream itself pulled up. And then finally, over on YouTube, we're at 2,000 and still growing. So I would love to change. If I could change it midstream, this is the problem with multi-streaming is you can't change the destination midstream. I would move it to the other channel on Rumble. But I can't because I would have to shut down the stream on all three and create an entirely new link on YouTube. So, well, whatever happens, happens. Yeah. So the two channels on Rumble are Ricada Law with no spaces and then Ricada Space Law. And I should have been on I think the Ricada Space Law channel is where I'm supposed to be. But still a work in progress. Still a work in progress. Looks like 220-ish over on Odyssey as well. Very, very encouraging. All right. So we've got some stuff to cover tonight. I have on the title to this that the Fifth Circuit has issued an opinion stopping the jab mandate for United Airlines, which they did and didn't at the same time. So that is something to cover. We've also got I grabbed the Curtis Reeves raw video. I thought we could take a look at that video ourselves and not rely on the court. And then I checked my Twitter DMs, and someone on Twitter has actually they have blown up and slowed down the video as well. So we can watch that and take a peek at how that's going. And then I just realized after I made all the stupid links to everything, including the wrong place, then I realized that I've never gone over the letter we sent back to Law and Crime, which contains some erroneous information because Law and Crime won't actually talk to us, and the letter Law and Crime sent back to us. And I thought that might be something we want to go ahead and go through for the purposes of completeness on this lovely night when I will be receiving at some point flat hair, a copyright strike. I don't know if that's going to happen during the show, after the show, sometime tomorrow. It doesn't actually tell me. It just says on the 22nd. I don't know if that's on 22nd at midnight. I don't know if it's midnight, Pacific time. I don't know if it's midnight Central. I don't know if it's in the middle of the day. It just doesn't say. The other thing is I don't actually know if I'll be suspended for getting the copyright strike. It's kind of ambiguous. Says so. We'll see how it goes, but I figure that's the stuff we can cover tonight, along with our daily unbreaded like normal, and we'll be moving on. What else is there? Is there anything else before we get started? I don't think so. There's some chats. Need to love and respect the chats in the chat. Let me tease something. Something great is coming very soon. Something that will be very funny very soon. And so with that, that's very vague posting, but I'll have a very fun announcement coming up pretty soon here. And I'll let you know as soon. You'll know exactly. You'll think back to this day and you'll be like, on that day, he told us it was coming. And you won't have to wait too long, I don't think. But yeah. See, that's a good announcement. Preserving Light says, did you ever get Pippa on? No. However, I am now in active communication with her management company. We just have to set up a time. So working on that. Got a message from them today, and we'll be, again, I was asleep, so I couldn't tell you, or I don't know exactly when it happened, but it happened a little bit earlier today. I got the message to get things finalized and set up the show. And so that is coming as soon as possible. Can't wait to interview Pippa and find out what kind of degenerate, disgusting VTuber she is. Weird shit posting rabbit or whatever, which I'm down with it. Look, I'm not gonna criticize what people want to jerk off to. Not here. You know, they always say we don't kink shame. I do, but not that. I mean, I guess if that's what you like, that's what you like. So there's that. And God, I feel like there's something else. Oh yeah. Dick Show Road Rage is coming up on March 5th. Is that it? I just realized how fucking soon all this stuff is. Yeah, I think it's on March 5th. Which means I'll be traveling to Los Angeles. Is that next week? Oh my God. Next week, I've got to go to LA. So next week I'll be in LA, and I'll be hanging out with Dick Masterson. Looks like we'll be hanging out probably with Keon and Mr. Stephen Birch, who will be there as well. I will try desperately to get a little bit of some good old fashioned drunken YouTubery lawyer going on with Keon and Mr. Birch during that time there, because that'll be great. Good fun. Who knows who else is going to go? Is that my lawyer? My lawyer is Mr. Stephen Birch. That's my lawyer. So, what is this? Any plans to start a war chest? Sephiroth Payne, it's in the back of my mind as a possibility, but there's the likelihood of a lawsuit starting in the near future over this copyright is low. And I'll tell you why when we go through, when we get to that subject. But I'm not going to crowdfund unless I absolutely need to really go to war against law and crime. Um, if it happens, I will be very open as I always am with this stuff. Everything will be done out in the open. It'll be fairly transparent, and we'll figure it out. For now, I'm not in the I'm not going to like crowdfund on a possibility. I know a bunch of people have offered to help out, help promote the crowdfunding and contribute to a war chest and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that unless I know the score for sure, because I don't like to ask for people's money unless things are in motion, and I know it's happening. So for now, any expenses are being paid out of pocket by me, um, and and that's fine. It's 100% okay. So not a not a big deal on that. That's the cost of doing business. But if it comes down to like a major federal lawsuit, then I might be asking for help at that time. But I'll keep everything public, and you guys will know. You guys will know what happens and what the plans are for everything. But the way the process works, here's the way the Copyright Act works. The Digital Millennium Copyright Act. YouTube issues a takedown at the request of the taker downer, right? So in this case, that would be Cucks and Crime. Cucks and Crime sends a takedown request, which they've done. YouTube did it through the delayed process, so gave me 7 days to try and negotiate it out. Considering it took them forever to respond to my first letter, they weren't very responsive to our second letter, and that's just how it goes. So that is not going to be resolved with them retracting their takedown request. So then YouTube is has to uphold that takedown. They take down the video. This is YouTube cover your ass with the law process. They take down the video, which will happen sometime in February 22nd. Don't know when. Then they apply the strike. Then I get to appeal with a counterclaim. I get to file a copyright counterclaim. Once I file that counterclaim, then Cucks and Crime has 10 days to file a federal lawsuit and produce proof of that lawsuit to YouTube. And if they do not produce proof of that lawsuit to YouTube, then YouTube is to reinstate the video. And at that point, it's, that it's just there. So that is how YouTube covers himself from legal liability and puts himself squarely in the safe harbor provisions of the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA. That's the safe harbor provision for a provider, is to follow a process that looks something like that. And at that point, if I am causing further damages or whatever to law and crime, they can still sue. They can still sue. They don't have to sue within 10 days in general. They just have to for the purposes of YouTube. And there's problems with that. There's problems with that. The problem with suing in the next 10 days is they have not registered a copyright on the stream. You cannot just sue without registering a copyright anymore. That's the new hotness from the court. And since they don't have I guess you in theory can, but that would be a big problem for them. That would be frivolous on its face. And I don't think they're that dumb, but maybe they are. So since they don't have a registered copyright, they have to wait for that copyright registration before they can sue. They're not getting it in 10 days, and they probably know that. So with that, there's nothing they can really do. The video should go right back up following the process. The only question I can't answer right now is based on YouTube, if I will actually be banned from the platform. There's some conflicting information in the YouTube copyright stuff. It technically says for a first offense, you have to go to copyright college. or whatever, which is fine. That's just a stupid video I have to watch at some point or something. But the as far as the strike says, or the info on the strike says, if you get banned during an active live stream, then you can't live stream for 7 days. So that's kind of the ambiguous part. I'm not sure what that means. What that means with it. So who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. With that said, let's go ahead and get into these super chats, and then we'll go from there. Rumble channel. I have a Rumble channel. Why are you saying Rumble channel? Will you sue them for lost revenue if that happens? Here's the problem with suing them for lost revenue is that bad faith claims and copyright are really, really, really hard to win. And they're much harder to win if it's a fair use question. Because the defense to a bad faith copyright fair use question is we weren't intending to be retarded. We just are, and we're wrong. We're not acting in bad faith. We're acting out of idiocy and ignorance. That's not sufficient. So that's really, really hard to prove. Now, if there's more information out there, which there may be, and we can nail them to the wall on something like that, yeah, then it's an option. But that's the way it goes right now. Okay, on to this. By the way, if you're on Rumble, you bastards, you better start clicking that damn plus button. I just found out there's a competition for like most Rumbles of the day. There's a competition for most Rumbles during on videos and broadcasts and stuff during the day. So go ahead and click that stupid plus button that they have in Rumble or whatever. That would be really helpful. Because what that does is it puts the video, if we can get into like the top 10 list, it puts the video up there and shows people what's going on in the channel and lets people see that there's this video that they may never have heard of before. So hit that plus button over on Rumble, and I'll start drinking liquor and all that stuff. Is there a chat on Rumble? Yes, there's a chat on Rumble. It's active right now. There's over 900 people in it. All right, Mac Jerfy says, "Hey, fellow alpha male, sorry to hear that YouTube is fucking your channel. I know it's very dear to you. The important thing now is that you hold your channel's hand and look deeply into her eyes at the moment of climax." Eric the Red says, "Rumble stream isn't up right now, you boomer." It is. It's on the other channel. I'll fix it up. Yeah, if it's on Ricada Law without the space, the link in the description on YouTube will work. That's it. I can, yeah. It's one of the confusing things, man, about this stuff. Speaking of Rumble, Eli580 says, "Can you bring up Rumble chats on StreamYard?" I don't know if there's a Rumble chat plugin yet on StreamYard. I just don't know. We can close this. Okay. Next. Petra883 says, "YouTube will not follow through with the strike. Otherwise, they will lose their massive 30% on your super chats. Lamau, take my money." I think they'll follow through on the strike, but I don't, what the effect of that is. We'll see. Does copyright college count as a CLE? I wish. James Karg says, all my loyalty and support to you. Utterly disgusted. This basically is also pushing us away from YouTube. Guarantee this pattern of events is anything but coincidence. Please keep standing strong, Nick. United, we stand. Yeah, well, so far, YouTube is handling this the way they would handle any copyright claim that is validly submitted. So we'll see. I know it potentially will drive people away from YouTube and onto other platforms, and that's what it is. It is what it is, so to speak. But there's not much that can be done about that. But I don't think people should look at this as YouTube is doing something particularly egregious to me at this point. That could change, but so far the evidence is that they're just implementing the Digital Millennium Copyright Act as they do with any other actual DMCA takedown. They're not really allowed to analyze the validity of the legal claims, which I think is a backwards and broken ass system, but it's YouTube's consistently backwards and broken ass system. All right. Jason of the Great Awakening says, Susan loves your nose. You'll be fine. That's right. Bob Johnson says, sorry to be a downer. Found out we are losing our baby. Needed to get off my chest. And it's easier to tell thousands of strangers first before all the family that was extremely excited tomorrow. Oh, man. Bob, I know exactly how that feels. I know what you're going through. Lady Rackets and I had three miscarriages before we were able to bring a child to term. And so I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. But be there for the lady. It's going to be really, really, really fucking rough on her. And with that, it's time for a little drink. I know that emotional windmill, man. SC Medic 71 says, glad to have you here over here on Rumble. What's the best email address to send you some private info about the law and cuck mess? My Ricada Law at ricada.org email is great for that. Like put in all caps that you mentioned this on Rumble in the subject line. So I see it. Sometimes people email me a whole bunch of stuff on random days. And I hate email. I hate it. So this is for Bob Johnson. I know what you're going through, buddy. I really do. And stay strong, brother. What am I drinking? Well, I have an Orange Crush. I have a Bushmills 21 year. And when the Orange Crush is gone, I've got, someone was talking about how they don't know how I'm not like 700 pounds. Well, I'm drinking very healthy. This is Milo's extra sweet tea. Yeah, baby. Extra sweet. Extra sugar in there. Because that's what's needed. So that's what we're going to when the crush is gone. All right. Jack Sparrow says, if you could toast to my wife's grandpa. He was Hawaiian before Hawaii was a state. He witnessed the attack on Pearl Harbor and fought in Korea as a Marine. Died in his sleep at 91. Hell of a man. Holy crap. To Jack Sparrow's wife's grandfather. A man who lived through extreme turmoil and transition. Going from a tribal territory into a state as a native. Watching that state be attacked. Well, it was still a U.S. territory at the time. Watching that territory be attacked on Pearl Harbor, to watch his homeland bombed on behalf of other people's war and other people's fight, and then goes on to grow up and serve in the military for the colonizers, for the for the American people who would make his land a state, fighting over in the forgotten war, the Korean War, the one that didn't get any press, the one that didn't get the reception, positive or negative, that World War II and Vietnam would get. The last, one of the last great American wars, really, until recent events, and a very interesting. Also, the plot of, or the setting for MASH, which I always thought was in Vietnam, but turns out it was in Korea. Didn't know that, but yes. Anyway, sorry, I got rambly on that toast. But cheers to a man who saw turmoil and transition and went on to raise a family in a world full of violence, in a world full of change and uncertainty. Never let uncertainty and change stop you from raising the next generation to change things for the better. Cheers. Matty Ice says a Western leader caught several times in blackface seizes him. I didn't seize emergency powers to stop the bank activity of protesters and use race as an explicit category to determine what is a legal protest over bodily autonomy. Yep. Yeah. That's Cuxton Trudeau or whatever. Cuxton Trudeau. If you are over on Rumble, I guess make sure to follow both channels in case I'm stupid and screw that up again. Someone said the proper Ricada Law channel has over 9,000 subscribers so far, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Oh shit. There's one more thing I need to do. There's a couple chats that came in right before the show. And I got to grab those. Whoops. Wolfgang Deo says, have no Switch but own Untitled Goose Game. Honk. And then he says, all hail Blue Whale. Cooper Chauvin sent a gold star. Thank you. Thank you for that to the early chatters there on YouTube. Okay. With that, let's get into this. Should we start with this quick look at this Fifth Circuit opinion? I'm not going to read the dissent in this. The dissent is like 57 pages. The main opinion is shorter, considerably shorter. Roxas says, Nick, I'm looking forward to seeing the Nose Brothers if you are going to stream at Road Rage. I'm going to try and get a stream going at Road Rage. Yes, absolutely. Kyle Rittenhouse spoke about some people and organizations he will be suing. Did you see? I did not see. I did not see that. Okay. Where are we? This is, what am I doing? How do I run a live stream? Share this. Boom. There we go. There we go. Suzmart 15. The chat on Rumble is down. You might have to scroll down past the comments or something. But it is there. I'm looking at it right now. The chat is there. And the Rumble Rumble doesn't update the. There we go. We're up to 575 Rumbles over there. Very cool. Okay, here we go. Here is the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals decision. These appellants, David Sambrano, David Castillo, Kimberly Hamilton, Deborah Jennifer Thal Jonas, and Janice Kincannon and Seth Turnbow versus United Airlines Incorporated. So this is what's going on. This is a per curiam opinion, which means it's an opinion that's issued by the court, not by a particular judge. Eli 580 says no chat on the app. That could be. Zodiac Thriller, you want to do that on Odyssey, probably. Okay, here we go. Plaintiffs are United Airlines employees. United has given them a choice: receive the COOF vax or be placed on unpaid leave indefinitely. The question we address here is narrow. If United's policy is not preliminarily enjoined, so if there's not an injunction on this policy, are plaintiffs likely to suffer irreparable harm? For the two plaintiffs who receive religious exemptions and remain on unpaid leave, we hold that they are. We therefore reverse the decision of the district court and remand for consideration of the other factors courts must evaluate when deciding whether to issue a preliminary injunction. Critically, we do not decide whether United or any other entity may impose a vaccine mandate, nor do we decide whether plaintiffs are ultimately entitled to a preliminary injunction. The district court denied such an injunction on one narrow ground. We reverse on that one narrow ground and remand for further consideration. So this is a very, very narrow ruling. That's what this court wants you to know about that. In August of 2021, United announced that each of its United States-based employees would be required to get the COVID vaccine. Announcement came with a deadline of either 5 weeks after the FDA formally approved the vaccine or 5 weeks after September 20th, whichever was sooner. It approved the vaccine on August 21st. Set the vaccine deadline as September 27th. Employees who were not vaccinated by that deadline were terminated. United does not remember. That was when, I don't know if you guys remember that, but I think that was when all the United pilots and shit went on strike. And the airline was like, oh, they had to cancel like 1,400 flights and it was a huge disaster. And they're like, nah, this isn't related to this. I mean, it's happening at the exact same time, but it's not related to this at all. What are you talking about? Don't be a lying bigot. Nor does it require, United does not require any passengers to be vaccinated, nor does it require its employees based in other countries to get vaccinated. That's interesting, isn't it? Even though those employees work with and come into contact with US-based crews. I didn't know that. That's phenomenally interesting. Only US-based employees had a vaccine mandate at United. How can you logically sustain that disjunction? How can you do that? Well, we need everybody vaccinated. Well, I mean, except for the foreigners. And neither does it require pilots from other airlines who ride in the cockpit jump seat on United flights to be vaccinated. United purports to provide exemptions for those who could not get vaccinated for either religious or medical reasons. That is, within 10 days after the FDA approved the vaccine, a United employee could apply for an exemption from the vaccine mandate for either religious or medical reasons. But at a town hall meeting, United CEO warned that not many exemptions would be granted and remarked that any employee who all of a sudden decided I'm really religious would be putting her job on the line by requesting an accommodation. Whoops. That's not, that kind of sounds like religious discrimination right there. That's what that kind of sounds like. Once an employee requested a religious exemption, United would ask the employees about their past vaccinations, use of stem cells in those vaccines, and why receiving such vaccines or medications were not a violation of their sincerely held religious belief on those prior occasions. United also asks, which is simple, right? Simple. I'm religiously opposed to mRNA vaccinations. That's what I'm religiously opposed to. I'm not opposed to anything else. Fuck you. You know what I'm opposed to? Fuck you. That's what. How about that, you piece of shit? You giant pile of trash. God, I wish I could talk to these people, don't you? Shinchan256B says, did I hear your official Rumble channel was Ricada space law? Would a space lawyer have to be an astrophysicist? Also, don't want you to get heated on YouTube, but a Nick Goes to Copyright College anime arc would be dope. Shinchan, you've been moderated. You've been moderated for that. I'm fucking tired of your garbage. Come on here. You think that's funny? You think that's cool? You can just oh yeah, I'll make an astrophysics joke. Nope. Done. Drurysome says, could Snowflake Rifle Girl withdraw her accusation of Lucas Gerhard even if she wanted to? Thank you, Nick, for just being you, a 77-year-old fan. Sharon, hey, thank you, Sharon. She could withdraw her accusation. It won't stop the criminal charges, but it'll make them very hard to prosecute. She would have to, not be a witness against him. That would be up to her to do that. But yeah, that is a possibility. Also, Zara BP with his member chat said, you are a good man, Nick. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so back to here. United also asked why the employees' religious beliefs prevented them from receiving the COVID-19 vaccine, but not taking other types of medicine. Some employees were asked to provide a letter from a pastor or other third party attesting that the employee actually held religious beliefs. United's bizarre inquisition into the sincerity of its employees' beliefs is somewhat at odds with our usual approach of taking parties at their word regarding their own religious convictions. And then they cite the Whole Woman's Health versus Smith. This is, of course, an abortion decision. Recognizing courts take a light touch when it comes to examining religious beliefs and practice. After United, so United does fucking literal inquisition. Okay. We will test your purity. We will put you in the fire. And you will take a vaccine because we have made it for you, for your health. If my employer was like, we're going to need to sincerely test your religion, I would religiously tell them to fist themselves. Fist yourselves until you grab your own tonsils, you pile of trash. I fucking hate these people. Go away. Get out. Get out of my life. First of all, you can't, I don't know about you guys, but my religious beliefs are not homogenous with every other Christian. There are parts of Christianity that I think some people get wrong and that I get right. And I'm sure other people think that I get a bunch of stuff wrong, like drinking on live streams, for example. I'm sure there are a bunch of people who do, and that's cool. That's fine. And they can tell me about it. The person who doesn't get to tell me about that is a boss. Don't you want to tell, are you sincere about your beliefs? Like, I don't know. Don't you, how many abortions have you forced women into, United CEO? I don't know. I'm just asking. How many flight attendants have you banged and forced to eat the undead tomato or whatever? Is that a euphemism for abortion? I just made it up. Eat the undead tomato. I would bet it's a non-zero number. I would bet United executives have several dead babies under their belts. I'm just guessing. These people are nasty, evil people. Arthur Pulowski has him pegged. Okay, back to this. After United would determine which employees were sufficiently religious, it provided these employees with an accommodation. The employee could keep her job, but could not go to work, would not be paid, and would not receive company paid benefits. Oh, thanks. To go back to work, the exempt employee had to get the COVID vaccine. Well, then that's not an accommodation or an exemption. You keep your job, but you don't get any money for it and you don't get to work. Well, then I don't actually have a job. How's that a thing? And if the employee would not, she could instead wait it out and start work again after the pandemic meaningfully recedes, which United guesses could be another 72 months or so. Just for 72 months. And by the way, if you don't think they'll figure out how to fire people in those 72 months or replace their positions, of course they will. Well, G says live chat for Rumble is only visible on iOS app. If you want to super chat, you need to use a browser, not the app. Lastly, being from Abilene, please have your pre-Rumble videos video use the I doubt it / take your swing line, peak Abilene. We'll figure it out. We'll get something done. just six more years. 6 more years to stop the spread, guys. Just after the 6 years, it'll be fine, according to United. United's campaign was not limited to forcing employees to choose between the vaccine and indefinite unpaid leave. For example, in August 2021, United began sending postcards to unvaccinated employees, stating that United had not received evidence of their vaccination and they needed to get vaccinated to avoid being separated from United. Plaintiffs credibly contend that United sends postcards rather than letters in order to broadcast employees' unvaccinated status to family members and enlist those family members in coaxing employees to receive the poke. Think about that. They're not only broadcasting the employment status of the person on a postcard, which they would normally send, obviously, a sealed envelope letter, but they're putting medical information on that postcard. That's amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal. Scarlock says, hey, Nick, apparently a guy named Benjamin Jeffrey Smith, who is an alleged Nazi furry, got into a gunfight with Antifa BLM in Oregon, wounding 5, killing 1. Just giving you a heads up in case you want to cover his trial. Only if he wears a fascist fursuit in court. Sorry, Judge, this is just who I am. I just wanted to cuddle them. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? No. Did he teabag the corpses? Did he drop those sweaty costumed man parts all over the corpses' faces after he shot them? Or I guess it's only one corpse. FTW Miller says, is Viva the canary in the coal mine to raise flags and slit throats? Metaphorically, of course. Arguably, something has to be the last thing. Hashtag unbreaded. Well, right now, I think Viva himself is just at risk. So, which I want nothing but good things for Viva Frey. I popped into his live stream. I only had a couple minutes today. I popped into his live stream before I went upstairs to make some dinner for the lady and the kiddos. And he was there with Runkle talking about all this stuff, there was an election tonight, something like that. And let me guess, Canada voted back in the exact same people doing all this shit, right? Nothing changed. Am I right about that? Did literally nothing change in the Canadian government today? Oh, vote on the Enabling Act. Okay. Vote on the powers. The Emergency Act passed? Of course it did. Why would the government not vote its powers in? They voted that they could rule over the citizenry with new power that's never been implemented. Color me never surprised when a government does that. They'll be there. I'm sure they'll eventually, they'll go ahead and eventually they'll let those go sometime in the 2070s or whatever. But he's got to be extra concerned because he talks about this stuff and any sort of aid and support provided. I mean, that makes him a terrorist effectively, which is crazy to think about. They could seize his accounts in a moment. They have proof that he was there at the protests. Terrifying shit. Mm. Wild. Wild. Well, whatever happens in Canada, I stand with the people on the side of freedom, not with the people on the side of tyranny. And the problem with Canada before the trucker protests, I think they had something like 98% vaccine compliance, and they word it that way, compliance, right? Um, the spirit of freedom was in broad display, but it's a minority, and it's an embarrassingly low minority. And that's ugh. That shit's just insane. The only good thing about the Star Wars prequels, right? So this is how democracy dies, to thunderous applause. It always is. It always is. Why do you think that crises are always pushed and prodded well beyond their actual danger level? The reason is because they push the button to see if the light comes on. Once the light comes on, then it's go time, baby. Then it's go time. They push every button. Every crisis is it's so much more. And when the public responds by saying, "Yes, daddy, this crisis is right," then they'll push for penetration. That's what they do. Because they're just always testing. Government is always testing for the power to expand, the consent of the governed to be expanded upon. It's a fat guy asking every chick out at the bar and eventually finding one who says yes. That's government's relationship with you. You're the chick. Your job is to say no to every fat, greasy fucking politician who drunkenly stumbles your way. I don't care how much, or how much you crave it or how long it's been. Do not open those legs. Don't do it. Azteca one says, Dep PM Christina Freeland has gone on record that she intends to make the Emergency Act provisions permanent. Permanent. It's amazing. Can you imagine these emergency provisions that we've never felt comfortable enacting ever in our country's history? Yeah, we're going to make them permanent now because of one respiratory virus. Jason of TGA says Canada always struck me as like pharaohs and ancient Egypt. Prove me wrong. God, it's insane to think that there's so many people who are okay with this. Not just that they like have to be defeated and accept it, but that they want it. That's what's been killing me. And all of my tweets about Canada will, of course, attract the Canadians who are like, "Hey, buddy, we love vaccines. I love forced penetration." That's the person who they come up and they do that, and you're like, "How are you real?" Like, "Well, these fellows out here honking." It's like the honking's the worst thing that's ever happened to you. That they just they're all for it. United's campaign was not limited to forcing employees to choose between the vaccine and indefinite unpaid leave. Oh, wait, the postcards. I read that one. Plaintiffs are several United employees who requested religious or medical accommodations from United. Those requesting religious accommodations did so out of concern that aborted fetal tissue was used to develop or test the COVID-19 vaccines. This is a common basis for religious objections to the COVID vaccine. Others requested medical accommodations because they had pre-existing conditions, which they believed made receiving a vaccine unnecessarily risky. For their concerns, United threatened to stop paying them or providing any benefits. Plaintiffs filed EEOC charges in September 2021, but because United's policy would go into effect before they received right to sue notices, plaintiffs sued and moved for a preliminary injunction, alleging United's vaccine policy violated their rights under Title VII. Plaintiffs specifically asserted that United has put its religious and disabled workers in an impossible position: take the vaccine at the expense of their religious beliefs and health, or face a lengthy period of unpaid leave. After plaintiffs filed suit, United changed its policy to allow certain employees with non-customer facing operational roles, for example, aircraft mechanics, the accommodation of working pursuant to a masking and testing protocol. It also permitted some customer service representatives to switch to remote positions rather than be placed on unpaid leave. This allowed 3 plaintiffs to continue work and be paid without receiving a vaccine. But for customer-facing employees, including pilots, flight attendants, and most customer service agents, indefinite unpaid leave remains the only accommodation they will provide. Plaintiff David Sembrano and Janice Kincannon, a pilot and a flight attendant, respectively, fall into this category and thus are only eligible for unpaid leave. Okay, so the other guy got dismissed because of a lack of personal jurisdiction. All right. It's weird. Very weird. Cave 500K says, info for those who don't know. Once you get 3 steps beyond entry level, you don't get fired. Your position gets eliminated and are encouraged to apply to a new position that's already filled. So there you go. Is that part of the union rules there, Cave? After hearing the district court denied plaintiff's motion for a preliminary injunction, though the district court noted that plaintiff's claims were compelling and convincing, it ultimately concluded that plaintiffs could not establish irreparable injury. Plaintiffs appealed and moved for an injunction pending appeal, which a panel of this court denied. So the court's logic here is that they won't suffer irreparable injury because you could just pay them, right? They could just, in theory, at the resolution of the case, United could be forced to pay them. And that payment would then make up for all of the payments that they didn't take during their time, all that lost income opportunity. Well, that's fucking nice, right? So when it eventually gets resolved by the appeals court and then either accepted or rejected by the US Supreme Court, eventually in like 6 years, they might get their back pay. But all that time, the entire time, they're without work or income from their employer. Isn't that lovely how courts operate? Let's see. The question presented to us in this appeal, is whether the district court erred by denying plaintiffs a preliminary injunction on the ground that they have not demonstrated a likelihood of injury if United's policy continued to operate against them while Title VII suit is pending. We hold the district court erred as to the plaintiffs who remain on unpaid leave and have brought Title VII actions. Plaintiffs are being subjected to ongoing coercion based on their religious beliefs. That coercion is harmful and in and of itself cannot be remedied after the fact. Very important that's going on. But there's something else here. I'm not going to read the rest of this. There's a specific spot. Let's see. Let me find the mandate. Whoops. If I could type. Oh, I guess it was right there at the beginning. We do not decide whether United or any other entity may impose a vaccine mandate. They're not going to get into that question, which, of course, for my money, that's the cowardice of the court. That's the cowardice of the court coming through in full swing. Get your ass out there and stop this shit. You're the only one who can. That's why we have the courts, to protect us from this bullshit. Let's read the conclusion here. I'm not going to, and then we'll move on from this subject because it gets kind of boring. But I just wanted to point out this is a victory, but it's not the best victory we could have. So here we go. If plaintiffs here merely allege that a past action by the employer caused and will continue to cause economic harms, our precedent likely would not allow us to conclude they have demonstrated irreparable harm. But plaintiffs allege a harm of a different nature, one that is ongoing. Thus, this is one of the extraordinary cases in which the circumstances surrounding the employer's actions, together with the resultant effect on the employee, may so far depart from the normal situation that irreparable injury might be found. Plaintiffs are not merely seeking to prevent or undo the placement on unpaid leave itself, but are also challenging the ongoing coercion of being forced to choose either to contravene their religious convictions or to lose pay indefinitely. In such cases, when an employee is subjected to ongoing coercion because of a protected characteristic, the irreparable harm factor of the preliminary injunction analysis is satisfied. So again, your loss of income, yeah, fuck you. Too bad. That's honestly how the courts view it. Your loss of income can be repaired years down the road. It's impractical. It's only makes sense to a political class that has no ability to be effectively fired, which is federal judges, but that's the way it goes. Jason of TGA says cabal is on the ropes with Trudeau panicking and Putin announcing independence for parts of Ukraine. What is next? Who knows? Jordan Flata says, so any regrets for voting in Chancellor blackface? I hope so. I didn't vote him in. I'm not Canadian. Oh my God. MM says in Marvel Comics, Canada is an authoritarian dystopian hellhole with the 90s Bosnian war style crimes against humanity happening on the regular. Looking forward to seeing mutants and supers in the near future. Really? What, in like X-Men and stuff? That's wild. I had no idea. Alex Coates thing says Rekieta Law currently charged with unspecified homicide for almost 5 years now. Wondering, do you practice criminal law? Would love to pay for an hour of your time. Can't say much more publicly. I practice criminal law in Minnesota, not that often. If you want to email me, I mean, I would talk to you in confidence. I don't know if I can help your situation at all. Charged with unspecified homicide for almost 5 years. What, you haven't gone to trial? Where the hell is everything? What's happening there? There's so much to that story that is very, very interesting to me. But yeah, if you want to email me or something, I could set up a chat with you and we'll figure things out. Figure something out, maybe figure out that I have no idea what to tell you. All right. Okay. That's that. That's this thing. So I guess the next question is what's the next topic? We've got the Curtis Reeves stuff. I can always do that during a break tomorrow too, during the trial. So I'm kind of thinking that one's backburnered. I've got two other subjects. I've got Curtis Reeves. I've got Lauren Southern is not misogynist enough by The Atlantic, talking about how she just sat there and took the misogyny like a bad lady. because she's awful and evil, but she wasn't as misogynist as her male counterparts. And that's why something. I don't know. I don't know what their fucking conclusion is. So we've got that topic, and then I've got the copyright stuff from Law and Crime. We do that. Should we do that? Let's see. He said, I promise to do, I promise to have these fights in public. Copyright stuff. Wig Party, there's a Rumble stream. I just boomered it up and put it on the other Rumble channel, which is Ricada Law with no space. Both Ricada Law with no space and Ricada Space Law work. Copyright cucks. I'm seeing mostly copyright stuff. So let's do that quick. Let me find the two emails. Okay. Let's see. Let's go with technically I don't have the final letter here. I have the draft. But my understanding is that this draft is representative of the letter that was sent. So here's the problem with this draft. I'm gonna put it out right away. That oh wait, no. Okay, I shit. Sorry, looking at something else here. Okay, I have to do this in a weird way. God damn it. I don't have the actual letter. I have a draft of the letter. And so I'll have to do this in weird sections. So we'll do this way. All right. This is representative of what was sent, I believe. And I want to be very clear. There are errors in this letter that I will try and clarify because we didn't know, because Law and Crime won't actually communicate with us. Matthew Lemon says, I'd watch Ricada Law do lines off Lauren Southern's hip bones. Well, I can't really think of the reality in which that occurs, but I guess you do you, man. So here we go. Because Law and Crime is not actually communicating with us, like they say they want to communicate, but they weren't actually communicating. We have some information that we have since found to be not correct. And that is, well, I'll talk about it. That's in here. Shit. Here we go. So, Mr. Slater, my client has received a DMCA takedown notice for you regarding the following video. I have attached my prior correspondence along with the order in that trial at issue, Halderson. A review of the video at the link shows that only in-court footage was used. As set forth in our early correspondence, you have failed to provide any proof that Law and Crime owns any copyright interest in the video at issue. That's still true. They have failed to provide any proof of anything. Let alone show any proof that Law and Crime even took the video at issue. Technically, also true. They have since asserted that they took the video, and I have received information that suggests that they are the video takers. But I didn't get that from Law and Crime, and we didn't get that assertion from Law and Crime until after this letter was sent. So, thanks, Eric Slater, you fucking beta. Like, if you would just communicate with us, we could talk this out and then tell you also why you're still wrong. But that's the issue that we've got with them, is that they're not very communicative. It is apparent, both from the reality of the circumstances and your lack of response, that Law and Crime has no ownership interest in the video at issue. Further, as discussed in the attached, it is unlikely that even if Law and Crime did record the video at issue, there would be any copyright protection available to this footage. And even if that were not the case, the use clearly falls within the fair use defense. So we're still way out at the big giant spikes that are buried in the ground to break the cavalry charge. That's where we are. That's where we are. But then we've got the walls, and then we've got the knights inside. This analogy is getting gay. You failed to respond to this letter and have now taken additional actions by filing a DMCA takedown notice. Law and Crime's filing of the DMCA takedown notice after being placed on notice that it does not own the video at issue clearly places them within the purview of 17 UFC 512F. Should Law and Crime fail to withdraw this demand and the video is taken down, my client will suffer significant damages, including damages from the removed stream and damages from the copyright strike on his YouTube account. Law and Crime will also be liable for Mr. Rekeda's attorney's fees and costs if he prevails in any lawsuit brought pursuant to 17 UFC 512F. This is in addition to any other state statutory and common law actions Mr. Rekeda may bring, such as tortious interference with business relationships, deceptive and unfair trade practices, and defamation. In short, damages and fees will be significant in this case. I'm unsure why Law and Crime is insistent upon protecting copyrights it does not own. Regardless of the reasoning, Law and Crime was well aware at the time of the DMCA takedown filing that it was not the copyright owner in the video at issue. This blatantly false takedown made under the penalty of perjury is actionable under 17 USC 512F should it not be immediately withdrawn. So again, it is possible that that they have recorded the video themselves. We've got some indication of that, and that would change the calculus. We don't have proof either way. We have their assertion, which I'll get to in a minute, and I have someone else who said it, but I still don't know that it's true. Okay, I need to get the rest of this letter going. All right, so here we go. If you contend, I think we've got this up now. Yeah, if you contend that anything above is factually incorrect, please send me proof and I can reevaluate. However, if we are correct, and I'm certain we are, Law and Crime has perjured itself and is abusing the DMCA takedown process to bully an independent journalist. That's me. We will not allow this bullying attempt to go unanswered. As of the time of this email, no video has been taken down yet, and no damages have been incurred. Withdrawing the DMCA takedown de-escalates the issue. However, if Law and Crime is insistent on moving forward with the takedown, I would make sure your client is prepared to defend its position that it owns the copyright to in-court footage that it did not record to a federal judge and jury. I hope there's no need to do that, and the takedown will be swiftly withdrawn. Should you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to comment or to contact me. Look at that. Mr. Birch, he's so polite. He's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. Like me. I'm nice and I'm tough. Put one of my sons through college, the other I put through a war. So that's what we sent them because they had not responded to our letter and they went ahead and issued the DMC or the copyright strike. Okay. So we have to figure that out. Now, they then responded. But the response that we got was, okay, there we go. Oh, wait, I have it already. Have it already pulled up. The response that they sent was to our previous letter. They didn't actually respond to this new letter, which is just not helpful. We don't like nice, be an asshole. Well, there's certain rules of decorum that you have to follow. See my man Chris Hook. I wish we could do it all like Chris Hook did. But what happened to him was him paying thousands and thousands of dollars in fines. So not really the way to do it. So, dear Mr. Birch, this is from Eric Slater, the in-house counsel for Law and Crime. Our office is in receipt of the January 21, 2022 letter you sent via email regarding the above referenced matter. As you're aware, I am legal counsel at Law News Inc., the owner and operator of Law and Crime Network, hereinafter Cuck and Crime, which features and streams live trials and courtroom procedures, oftentimes through its own footage and curated video content. Through its own footage. Oftentimes, that's a pretty big mitigation from their initial claim that they don't use any pooled footage at all, which is bullshit. Firstly, we disagree wholeheartedly with numerous allegations made in your letter, particularly the statement that Law and Crimes is making claims to copyrights of live feeds of various court trials and related proceedings it almost certainly does not own, specifically in regard to the Chandler Halderson trial. We fully defend our rights to the legal ownership of Law and Crimes content, videos, and live streams, particularly the January 4th, 2022 video of Law and Crimes footage of the prosecution's opening statement, which, as we stated before, was taken and featured without accreditation in Mr. Rekeda's YouTube page. Your logo's right there. What are you talking about? In regard to the question posed in your letter, the 3 cameras allowed in the courtroom for the Halderson trial were, in fact, owned and operated by Law and Crime employees and agents. And we fully preserve our rights as the owners of the raw footage of that stream. It says, per the court's December 28, 2021 order for the Halderson trial, Judge John D. Hyland instructed that no more than 3 video cameras may be used at one time. Law and Crime own and operated all 3 cameras and can provide proof of such operation if and when necessary at a later time. Why don't you provide proof of the media agreement there, Slater? That's what we all want to see. That's what we're curious about. So if you guys don't know how this works, I'll tell you, because I've had to learn all this. Jason of TGA says, I am seeing an impressive number of lolicon people come to Jesus now that this last weekend Hillary appeared in New York City while Epstein's buddy Epstein himself. Here's how this works. There's a media pool. Pooled media coverage is a thing that exists, but there's a media pool that of people when multiple people want to cover a particular trial, like a public trial event. We're going to limit this to court trials, even though media pooling exists outside of court trials, but we're going to limit this to court trials. So there's, let's say, the Chauvin case, right? So all these media companies file motions or whatever because they want access to the courtroom. And the court says this is too many people. So you guys can come up with a media pooling agreement and then you can figure it out. And then what happens is, so these companies get together and they form a media pool and they select one of the companies, and they have different ways of doing this in different places. But in Wisconsin, there's each county has a media liaison basically who helps manage this shit. And so the media liaison will assign whatever company wins through whatever method they use. They'll say, you are the media company that will be in the courtroom. Your cameras are there and you operate them. And so that company undergoes an expense, right? Because they have to bring cameras in, they have to have people standing there manning the cameras and all of that stuff. So that they incur an expense. So the other media companies contribute money into the media pool as part of that expense. And because their cameras aren't going to be in the courtroom, but they're going to use the raw courtroom feed. So that's kind of the exchange that goes on. Now, with that, I don't know what the amounts of any of this are. It's all very cloak and daggery. You have to be in the know. You have to have the elite access or whatever to get into these fucking pools. And the elite access, I'm talking, you don't really have to have elite access. You just have to know how to do this. But it's all kind of done by insider professionals who do this all the time. So they pool up, people contribute some money to the media pool, and then they all use the same feed. Now, the question is, does the person operating those cameras own some level of copyright in that feed? Probably, maybe, don't know. One of the question is how much and over what? Because in the Chandler Halderson trial, there were significant orders about exactly what could be filmed, when the cameras would be turned on, when the cameras would be turned off, what could not be filmed. So, and where the cameras are placed in the courtroom. So those creative decisions are taken away from the camera people at that point. You don't get to choose when they come on or when they turn on, when they turn off. You don't get to choose what to film. You have to film these 3 things or whatever, 4 things if they pan a little bit. You can't choose, you can't film these other things. So they don't get that flexibility and that creative control in that way. But in some way, they are choosing, I guess, what to record at a specific time within those parameters. So they may have some protectable thing, but the level of creativity is very, very low. So what is protectable? Because they're not generating the content. They're not writing the scripts of the people who are testifying or the lawyers or the judge. They're not doing any of that stuff. This is just live news footage that they're raw footage that they're taking in, factual events. So the other question is, how does the ownership go for everybody else? Because Law and Crime is saying they're preserving their rights as the owners of the raw footage of the stream. Does that mean they have a licensing agreement with all of the media pool people that is individual? Most likely they have some sort of licensing agreement. But it'd be very interesting to see them be able to assert full creative or full ownership of whatever copyright license to these people, and but they retain all of their existing rights. And so we don't know. We don't know what that agreement says. But what's interesting about it is, the other interesting part about it is, if you look at the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and if you look at the Kim Potter trial, those both contained explicit provisions in the judge's order that said that the people do not own the copyright interest in this footage. The media companies don't own a copyright interest in this footage. Those orders, those proposed orders, were likely drafted by media companies in those cases. And that language probably reflects the licensing agreement that exists for the media pool. Likely. Again, without knowing for sure, because they haven't sent us the proof. They say they have this proof that they can provide at some point in the future. They've never actually sent it. They could really easily just send that media agreement over and say, here you go. Here's a media agreement. It shows that you guys lose. They haven't done that. Wonder why. It's always weird when people have a magic card in their pocket, right? And they reach into their pocket to pull out the magic card, but instead they just grab their dick and jerk off. Because that's what Law and Crime has done here. They haven't actually pulled out the magic card that would win their case definitively. And why not? It doesn't make sense. I don't think the agreement's confidential. Let's see. Alex Codes thing says email sent. Your content is awesome, even if we don't engage in dialogue. Either way, I did see your email. I've gotten it. So I'll try and get back to you on that. Okay. So back here, your statement that Law and Crime does not own the copyrights to the in-court footage used by Mr. Ikeda, and even if it did, Mr. Ikeda's use is fair use, could not be further from the truth. As I am sure you are aware, pursuant to statutory authority and federal case law, when any entity or individual creates or gathers content, I guess, including raw footage through its own means, that entity owns the copyright for that video. Copyright Act of 1976 protects original works of authorship fixed in any tangible medium of expression, including motion pictures and other audiovisual works, 17 U.S.C. 102. Federal cases in the Seventh Circuit, which includes Wisconsin, the state in which the Halderson trial took place, have closely followed this copyright legislation, granting ownership rights to the creators of original work. Copyright ownership vests in the author of the work. As a general rule, the author is the party who actually creates the work. Creates is, again, an interesting term here. What have you created? You're just covering factual events, but that's okay. They're making their assertions here. Other federal circuits have expanded on the matter of ownership of video content, particularly as it applies to press pool footage. And we went through this yesterday, this case. This case says nothing at all of what they're claiming it says. While many press pool participants are required to share media content with fellow pool members, non-pool media representatives do not receive the same treatment unless required by regulation or applicable statutes. Nation Magazine versus United States Department of Defense. This case has nothing to do with what they're saying. This case says that the Department of Defense can, for wartime footage with national security concerns, place reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions on the press by limiting the footage to a particular pool of media, a media pool. Okay? So what they're saying is that no one receives this treatment unless required by regulation or applicable statutes. That's the opposite. That's the opposite here. What happened in that case was that there was wartime footage going on. This is in the early 90s, so I guess over in like Bosnia or whatever. There's wartime footage going on. And these media company, these pool media companies were the only people allowed to disseminate that footage because the Department of Defense said there are national security concerns here. We want to make sure that the only people releasing footage are the media pool people, probably because they wanted to have some level of control over what was released through those entities, because that would allow them to prevent, say, troop movements or whatever being disclosed that would compromise U.S. national security, right? That makes some sense. Agree or disagree, that makes some sense as to what the Department of Defense wanted to do. So the court considered that basically a time, place, and manner restriction on the free rights of journalism protected by the First Amendment. Because you have to have limited restrictions in order to pass what's called strict scrutiny, because you're infringing upon an enumerated right. Hitman 1 says, welcome to Rumble. Hey, thank you, Hitman 1. So, anyway, the difference here is stark. And this guy's either an idiot or dishonest. I think he's dishonest about what this case says. I don't think he's particularly an idiot. But there's a difference saying that government has to provide permission for non-pooled media members to have access to footage. And what it actually says is that the government can restrict access in limited cases that involve national security in a time of war. Because that's what that case says. That's what that case says. In fact, but moving on. In fact, even when law and crime does not provide the courtroom cameras as it did here, it is regularly asked to pay a fee to cover certain expenses as part of the pool. Mr. Rekieta, based on our knowledge, was not a member of the press pool for the Halderson trial and therefore is not entitled to simply appropriate law and crimes footage of that trial. In fact, C-SPAN has a similar policy for its use of government proceedings. Yeah, and if this is true, what the fuck? If this is actually accurate, which would be, we'll assume arguendo that it's true. This doesn't change the fair use analysis. And fair use is not subject to copyright. It's an exception to copyright. It's a new work that is created and is its own thing. So fair use trumps that anyway. Because I did not simply appropriate the footage. I utilized the footage to provide criticism and commentary and education about an ongoing newsworthy event. And the amount of footage that I used was the amount necessary to provide the necessary criticism and commentary that was provided. Further, your statement that Mr. Rekieta's utilization of law and crimes trial feed constitutes fair use borders on the absurd for the reasons already stated in our initial January 19th, 2022 correspondence. To reiterate, the sheer volume and amount that Mr. Rekieta has utilized from our stream, including but not limited to the Halderson trial video referenced above, as well as the effect that Mr. Rekieta's actions have placed on the economic value of law and crimes work. Get wrecked, you pussies. Get wrecked. Taco the Turtle says, thanks. Hey, thank you. As well as the effect that Mr. Rekieta's actions have placed on the economic value of their work. Demonstrate that a thorough fair use analysis would undoubtedly weigh in law and crime's favor. They haven't, this is not a thorough analysis, by the way. The sheer volume and amount that I have utilized, that's their full analysis. So, well, he just used so much, it can't possibly be fair use. That's not a thorough analysis in any way. It ignores the largest factor, which is transformative nature of the work. All right. Simply put, by streaming significant and substantial portions of law and crimes feed onto his channel, Mr. Rekieta is all but encouraging his followers to click on content that he is not authorized to stream. I don't need to be authorized under fair use. That's the entire purpose of fair use. Rather than allowing users to click on the original source of the raw footage through our network. They don't need to. They can go watch the raw footage all they want to get the rest of it. And many of them did, you bitches. Many people through my channel have found yours to find the rest of the footage, to find the stuff that was not utilized, to find a feed that didn't have commentary on it. Significant transformative commentary and criticism. The stuff that makes fair use, you know, that stuff where people are like, I don't want this. I want the original content. I want this other content that is bereft of this transformative commentary. I want a different thing than what's happening right now. People did that through me to you. You're welcome. We again demand that Mr. Rekieta remove all infringing content referenced herein and in our January 19, 2022 letter from his channel. By way of clarification, Law and Crime, this was new. Law and Crime submitted a takedown request for the Halderson trial video on January 5th, 2022, well before our January 19th letter was sent to your office. So YouTube just responded to our request this week, nearly a month and a half after our initial submission was sent. So this was new. Did not know that YouTube took a month and a half to issue this takedown. Regardless of the above, our office stands by the statement we made in our initial correspondence that that Law and Crime is prepared to try to resolve this matter amicably. No, they're not. The amicable remedy that they're talking about is for me to bend the knee and kiss the ring. Sorry, but I don't kiss rings and I don't bend knees. We can make ourselves available for a telephone call at your convenience where we can further discuss and hopefully resolve these issues. We appreciate your anticipated cooperation, Eric Slater. My counteroffer to Law and Crime is simple. I don't know if it's an official counteroffer at this point. I doubt they'd take it anyway, which is stupid of them. But I did and would continue to happily say, if you want the source material, if you want no commentary, law coverage, or coverage of other trials that I'm not able to get, go to Law and Crime. Do it. And that's what they should have done. That's what they should have done from the start. Hey, you can, we have copyright ownership, but we won't care if you just go ahead and direct people to our channel. I said, sure, of course. Easy. No money exchange, no hard feelings. Don't mind. I was already doing it anyway. But that's the issue. So that's where we are with this. And I guess it's time to give a check on YouTube and see if there's any update to the status of the video. I think it's still up at this point. Appears to still be up. Double checking the takedown notice and see if anything's happened there. Yeah, I'm not seeing any new copyright notices. But we've got to go ahead and make sure. It might happen at 2 a.m. That would be Pacific time. 2 a.m. my time. Got to go back. I have over 30 live streams since then. 49 live streams since then, it looks like. Yeah, it's still pending removal at this time. Still pending removal. But yeah, there's the update on Law and Crime. Right? We gotta. Where's my tea? There it is. That's the letter we've been dealing with. After their initial letter, that's the only communication that we've received back from them. It doesn't address our concerns that they haven't actually shown proof. They've just asserted that they own the footage. But there's a media agreement. There's a pooled media agreement almost guaranteed from there, because there are other media companies that were streaming that same exact content, the exact same feed. So what's that pooled media agreement say? Don't know. But as a final update, a final statement on this, and I did put this in a video today. I very much appreciate if you go check it out. If you already have checked it out, thank you so much. It really helps. If you can share that as well, it's really helpful also. But as I said today, if this happens to take anything down, I will continue streaming on Rumble and on Odyssey. The show will go on. It will continue to exist in the way it has already existed. If the YouTube strike actually does impact live streaming, it will be likely for 7 straight days. So just kind of be aware of what's going on with that. That is why, and that's why I put out the video today before this happens, because once it happens, if they take down your ability to upload, which is what happens with a guideline strike, I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I wanted to make sure and get that video out right away so people knew where to find the content. The ghost, I do not condone that activity personally. I have never wanted I have never advocated for or wanted people to go mass flag or comment or anything like that on anyone's videos. I maintain that policy. I do not ask people to do that. I fight my fights, and I fight them in public, and I fight them as an asshole because that's what I do. If you want to fight, fine. I don't start fights, but I will fucking make your day miserable. I'll make fun of you and ridicule you mercilessly during the fight because I didn't start this shit. I created a new product using sourced courtroom footage of public government proceedings. And if you think you can own public government proceedings, then fuck off. And if I have to, I will take that fight up to creating a precedent if I have to. I don't think they're going to follow through with it, though. Chris Friday says, my email that Uncivil Law used in his story about you used all of my work of Edgecombe cameras. Who owns them? Can I copyright strike him? If the live streams on the Wisconsin court website is from the pool, does that help you? Chris Friday, wait, what? What email is this? I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly what that is. If the live streams on the Wisconsin court website is from pool, does that help you? Maybe. I don't know. Some of them, some of the Wisconsin court websites cameras are operated by the court itself. DA Cast or whatever is the title of those. And I think Edgecombe's cameras were the court itself, the cameras that are installed in the court, that's a little bit different in that case, because whoever owns the copyright would then be the courthouse. But I think the Edgecombe one had a more, I don't know what the order was, but Chris Friday, can you email me again and remind me specifically what you're talking about? I would like to know, because I'm just not understanding from the super chat. But you don't have to send another super chat for it. I just if we could have more discussion, any more sort of information that I can get on this, the better. I hadn't actually finished this. Okay. But again, this idea of ownership of public events, sure, there's some very minimal copyright interest in the person who vested in the person who took the actual footage. However, let's be honest. The law actually supports this. Whatever interest they have is very, very subject to the idea of fair use, because they're not creating the work. They're recording an event that happens. And other people are prevented from going in and recording that event. Like if I went to Wisconsin, let's say I went to Wisconsin and say, I want to go record this event. I can't do it. I would be prevented from recording that event because you can't have that many cameras in the courtroom, right? Damn it. So because of that, there's no opportunity for a normal person to go into these things and do this. It doesn't exist. So we citizen journalists have to rely on these media conglomerates who have sort of the inside access to this stuff. And as the exchange is very simple, we have to abide by the terms of fair use. We have to go ahead and transform this content enough. It doesn't take much. So anyway, but and then of course, yes, the media pooling agreement could be very, very different because Channel 3000 was streaming the Halderson trial, and it was the exact same feed. So whatever they're gonna claim would be subject to that media agreement, and we haven't seen that yet. All right. With that said, I guess do we go to Lauren Southern next? Lauren Southern, the bigot. Let's see. Wait, is this from 2020? Oh, holy shit. Why was this in my news today? Okay, I'm probably not going to do this story then. This is in my news feed for today, but this is an article from fucking 2020. Good job, Google. God damn it. I thought this was new. Anyway, here's Lauren Southern. And they're talking about how why the alt-right's most famous woman disappeared back in 2020. I mean, I don't know that Lauren Southern has disappeared. Has she disappeared? Where'd she go? Let's see. Let's see how she's disappeared. Lauren Southern. Here's how disappeared Lauren Southern is. 402,000 followers on Twitter. She's tweeting constantly. She still has a social media presence, retweeting other people. You know, I don't know that Lauren Southern has disappeared, but she's got a YouTube channel. With a piddly 672,000 subscribers. She's live streaming actively, lots of views on her live streams and videos. So, you know, there you go. She's just going ahead and just doing her thing. So I guess that's disappeared. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it had. Maybe that's what that means. Sometimes I wonder if I understand the meaning of words. But this was back. That was written back in 2020, so that's not new. Never mind. I thought that was going to be funnier. She got married, moved to Australia, and had a kid. Sad on that Australia choice. Out of the frying pan and into the oppression. Damn. Okay. Let's see this Curtis Reeves video. What's this? Bum. Oh, the defense rested today in the trial of Thomas Lane, Officer Lane, Officer King, and Officer Tao in the George Floyd case. The federal case. The defense rested today. Earl Grey, champion of Defendants in Minnesota. They rested today, so that was kind of interesting to see. All right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I need that back. Have to find all of these damn things. Where was that video? Okay, so we've got some enhanced video here, and I've got the raw video around here somewhere. Where the fuck is that? Oh my gosh, disorganization is killing me. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Oh shit. Okay, cool. I always wonder what's going to happen when I get notified that someone left a review. It's like, uh-oh. Blackface lawyer. Oh shit. All right. So this is not where the fuck? That's not what I want. I swear I have this somewhere. Where did it go? This is great. I'll check my history. Here we go. Perfect. I'm brilliant. All right. There's no audio from this, of course. So there's nothing to not boomering the audio. The audio doesn't exist. Are you going to cover the Y&W Melly case? I don't know what that is. Gino Fast says, you need a Jamie. Jamie, pull that article up. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Sleuths. I'll be reaching out to Earl since I was waiting until he rested in this case to see kind of his opinion on sentencing, to see what he's thinking about the Lane case. He probably won't be able to talk too much about it. But okay. So here's the raw footage that's been around forever. The action's all going to happen down in this bottom right area of the screen. This is where everything takes place. And then we'll go to this person who has zoomed in on the particular area and slowed the footage down. It's only 11 seconds. But first, we'll cover this. And we're not going to cover the full 6 minutes and 36 seconds because most of it happens at the very beginning. And then the theater lights come up and see, like, if we go here, theater lights are up and things are over. But so we're going to go back to here. Now, one thing that's on this footage, Random 11, I don't know. I'm looking into it. But I don't know how you go about doing that. So one thing about this footage is it will do these pauses where it stays on the frame. In the courtroom video, it blacks out and then comes back, right? Blacks out, comes back, or blues out and then comes back. On this one, it actually pauses on the last frame until motion is detected again, and then it goes from there. But you'll be able to tell pretty simply that the motion detection on these cameras is trash. And the fact that it's only on the eating area is pretty interesting to me. But here we go. Okay, so if you see down at the bottom right, that's Curtis Reeves sitting down with his popcorn, and Vivian, who's going to sit next to him. And then it's going to freeze in just a second. Pause. Okay, now it's going to detect motion, and then he's moving. Pause. So you see the popcorn teleporting around. So here he's leaning forward to tell the guy, hey, your phone's on, you idiot. And this video is not sped up or slowed down. This is the actual speed of the video. So here's where he gets up and he goes to go be a Karen and talk to the manager. Very exciting. Lots of stuff happening. Here's where he comes back, sits down, grabs his popcorn, sits down. Okay, now the action's going to come in just a second. There's the popcorn grab and throw in the shot. All right, so just for posterity's sake, the important part is going to happen down here really quickly, and that is prior to the popcorn being grabbed and thrown is this initial interaction, which looks like he is struck with an object that reflects the infrared or is illuminating itself. So probably the cell phone that ends up at his feet. Oh shit, I didn't bag it up enough. All right. So you'll watch and you'll see a little thing. Now we'll watch the enhanced version in a second. Okay, so it's going to come in the bottom right corner. Here's the first swing. There it was. It's really quick because the motion camera has to pick it up. And then here's the second part where he comes back, grabs the popcorn, and throws it. Then the shot happens. There's an 8-second gap in there. There's an 8-second gap in there. Now, this is the Reeves shooting starting at 1 minute, 26 seconds. This is full length, centered, zoomed, raised contrast so that we can see it a little bit better. Their commentary, it's pretty obvious to me that he throws the phone. I raise the contrast to make the object stick out a bit more, but you can see it come from off screen, land in Reeves' lap, and then fall on the floor. I played the video on 0.33x in VLC, and it was pretty obvious. So here we go. So everything's going to happen in this area now on the enhanced version. And there it was. So if you want to see that again, you got to watch right at the beginning and look, there's an illuminated object that comes in and then comes down this way. It travels this way and then this way, right at the very, very intro. Might need to go frame by frame to see it easily. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. Is it oh, here you can see the illuminated object. I think there's okay, we're going frame by frame here. Right where my mouse is right now is where you're going to see the object, but I'm going to move my mouse. All right, so there's the object. It enters the frame. You can see right here. And then it travels over to here. I mean, this is clearly being thrown. You can see as we go back, the hand is over here. This guy. His body mass is entering the frame down here. So here's the phone or object. I think it's probably pretty obviously the phone is thrown, hits. See it still here. Remembering I'm going frame by frame, so it takes a little while for this to happen. Now it travels down this way. So from here, it falls down into this area. And the phone would end up on the floor between Curtis Reeves' feet at the end. So after that, that's where he reacts to getting hit, is what it looks like to me. I'm going backwards again just to show. I mean, this is about as clear as fucking day that this object was thrown at him and hits him, consistent with his story to me. Now, whether you think that's justification for deadly force, different question. But I think anybody at this point saying that his story about being hit is not true, I think they're in denial. He was definitely struck. So then he backs up. But see, again, this isn't where he shoots. Where he shoots is the important question. So at the time of the shot, is he in reasonable fear of imminent death or bodily harm? Because this phone is not justification for shooting. He's already been hit, right? He's been hit. It's over at that point. The only thing that would add justification is if he becomes in fear of imminent death or bodily injury in the future. So Chad has to do something to carry on this action. Branca calls it continuing battery, which is where we come to this part. So this part is where so this is Chad over here on the side. This is him turned around, his arm coming across the aisle. All right. So now we see him reach, grab the popcorn, and throw it back. So the question is his, after being hit, is his thought that he's still under assault reasonable? And I'll play it at full speed again just to let people see how fast it happens. But that snatch of the popcorn and that throw, he will probably argue he thought he was going to be struck again, but the guy happened to grab the popcorn and throw. So let's watch it full speed one more time. Or I think this is actually slowed down a bit, but maybe this is actually full speed. Grab, throw, bam. No, it is slowed down a tiny bit, I think. But okay, so, and again, we'll go back to that same thing down here just to make sure, because I know this one is full speed. And this is where you can clearly see the grab and throw. Here it comes. Boom. So there it is. They're pretty close. I think they're both at full speed. But there you go. So that's what people have to determine with Curtis Reeves. I'm leaning more and more towards justified. I'm leaning more and more towards justified. Imagine throwing your multi-$100 cell phone at someone. Put away your cell phone. No, wham, and then throwing it at him. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you're just damaging your own shit. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you harm your own property? Like to own the lip. That's like it's like Gavin McInnes dildoing himself to own the libs. Doesn't make sense to me. Imagine throwing your $15 bucket of popcorn. He didn't throw his $15 bucket of popcorn. He threw someone else's $15 bucket of popcorn. So for me, yeah, I think, yeah, I think a 71-year-old man confronted by a 6'4", 6'4", 40-year-old man who's acting violently aggressive towards him, justified shoot. I think so. Hey, here's an idea. Don't be an aggressive asshole if you don't want to get shot. Let me see. So you guys want to poll? Okay, so Curtis Reeves shooting, justified, not justified. Just your opinion, not a verdict, not a guilty, not a verdict prediction. Your opinion based on law, though, not just like how you feel about it, because feelings are for women. Base it on the law of self-defense. Whoops, I didn't. Here we go. There we go. So there you go. The poll is up. The poll is always up, or should always be up. And make sure you go ahead and run it up the flagpole and see who looks, but no one ever does. Come on, Odyssey chat. Please work, Chat Chan. Oh, here we go. Perfect. All right, let me check out these Odyssey chats. We'll do our daily unbreaded in just a minute. Ogonzo says, here's the entire life savings of a giant piece of shit in order to mod Shin-Chan. At G says, can you put out a PSA on how to be a base small town defense lawyer, internship suggestions, and how to survive as a lawyer in bumfuck nowhere? Not well. I'll tell you how I survive as a lawyer in bumfuck nowhere. Get on YouTube. Rumble username sucks says, put the poll on Rumble, you bigot. There isn't a poll option in the chat on Rumble. So I, Rumble and Odyssey. I guess I'll have to start incorporating one of those stupid fucking chat websites. One of those stupid fucking poll websites. Red Ved says Rumble is super gay. Capitalist Pig Dog says prayers for Viva. He went full unbreaded tonight. Owl Larry says you can't out Rumble Alex Jones's greenhorn. Capitalist Pig Dog says, fun fact, Rumble will ban you for undefined hate speech and misgendering from the mouth of the Rumble CEO on a Viva and Barnes interview with him featuring Emily D. Baker. Well, there you go. I don't know what that means. I'm opposed to banning anybody for pretty much anything outside of actual illegal content. El Gonzo says, didn't even have to campaign with enough rope. He modded himself. Oh, yeah, Shin-Chan. He did. He modded himself. I wonder if Rumble will change their policy on the hate speech stuff when they relocate in Florida. Because they are, I think, currently in Canada, which may have some impact on that. I'd love to ask him about that. Zalcor07 says, one only really values liberty when one has to struggle for it. Comfort breeds complacency. In a lot of ways, I agree with that. Scarlock over on YouTube says, what I've really learned about self-defense is that you never want a poor matchup based on weapons. Never try to fight a gun with fists, a baseball bat, even thrown, a plastic bag, a phone, popcorn, or harsh language. Nope. Never try to fight a gun with any of those things. Also, never try to fight a gun with one flappy exposed bicep gauge. Jason McConnell says, based on the testimony of the other moviegoers, he deserves jail for not shooting all of those bastards. Rumble username sucks says, that's no excuse, Mr. Big Name YouTube lawyer. SC Medic 71 says, LawTube is so yesterday. Now is the time for Law Rumble. Bad vibes. In 6 months, Nick's nose will succumb to roid rage and take over the channel. Yes, my nose is on steroids right now to try and get my taste back. Red Ved, Red Dev Ved says, call Lawn Cucks on stream. Lawyer did invite you to call him. Well, all my communications properly going through my lawyer because I'll just make nipple jokes the entire time. Speaking of that, Nipple Salad says Law and Cuck would probably shit themselves if they ever learned who Weird Al is. Publius 88 says, have a full scent Nick. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your pennies. Do you guys remember the Camp Chaos videos around the Netflix or the Napster? Napster bad. Their Sue All the World song was beautiful. That video was great. Craig Daniel Labar says, how the phone got there has been bothering me since I heard it was on the back aisle. Seeing this trial, I've gone from guilty to maybe not murder to justified. Been a crazy ride. Thanks for covering the case. You know, I'm pretty much with you, man. I'm pretty much with you. And I think that's the defense is doing the job it needs to do. It has to undo 8 years of media programming on what this case is about. Alex Codes thing says a man who represents himself has a fool for a client. Napster bad, fire bad, beer good. Okay. Ever Eden author says, I saw my brother's old lawyer on the train this morning. Accidentally Sharon stoned his friend. Ooh. Engine Idiot says, to all the Canadians out there just saying that is, in fact, not illegal to wear a raincoat covered in Vaseline. It is also not illegal to put a sock in your baseball bat. And it is, once again, not illegal to fill an ice cream cone with cement. Just some weird and wacky things that are 100% legal. A raincoat covered in Vaseline? Oh, so if anyone tries to grab you. Got it. Sword Caliber says, with those milkshakes, frozen water bottles, and soup cans being used by Antifa and BLM, a giant tub flying at a 71-year-old could be scary. Red Dev Ved says, here, Nikki, have a chat worth one pube. Thank you. Oh, God, I'm so happy to have that. Thor Arcall says, honestly, with the behavior exhibited by Chad in this situation, the world is probably a much better place without him. Big guy bullying a 71-year-old, got what was coming to him. Did he deserve to die? Assault a stranger in a dark theater, you get what you deserve. Wouldn't have gone to trial in Texas. Yeah, it's at first, you know, he threw popcorn at him was the narrative. Not so sure popcorn, you know, shooting someone over popcorn. But he pulls that gun out pretty quick. I don't know that is a reaction to the popcorn. I think it's a reaction to him moving in with his hand like this. Going for the full fisting, right? Because that's what it looks like to me. Generalissimo says, I feel like it's justified, but it bothers me that it feels justified. I'm reminded of the saying, if you're only entering a situation because you have a gun, don't. P.S. What happened with Viva tonight? I haven't watched yet. I think what happened with Viva tonight was he watched Canada solidify the emergency powers, past them, and held on to them. Easy EWI says, Rumble sucks. They don't save paid chats. Tons have been lost. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I've gotten every paid chat tonight. I haven't been announcing that they're from Rumble. I've just call out the name and do it, but I'm been pretty on top of it. I've been reading all amounts over on Rumble right as they come in because they're not saved. I've talked to Rumble and they are working on that right now. That was you know, I mentioned that on the first stream I did yesterday night, Sunday night. Yeah, it was the first stream I did on Rumble. It was the first thing I mentioned. I said, "Oh, you got to have a chat management system for the creator," and I got an email that's what they're working on right now. The Canadian Senate still has to approve the use of the act. Oh, okay, perfect. He says, don't you get emails of the Rumble super chats? No. At first, before I found out how to disable it, I was getting emails with the Rumble comments, not the chat comments, but the comments on the video itself. I was getting emailed every one of those, and I got a whole bunch right away. But then I found out how to disable that real quick. Goodness gracious. Let's see. Thomas Fitzpatrick says, so I'll admit that cereal is soup and coffee is tea, but is a cookie a cake? Yeah, I'm with it. I think a cookie is a cake. I think there might be some cookies that aren't cakes. I'll have to think about that. Okay, it's time. Cookie is pie. It's a biscuit. Cookies are bread. Oh, shit. The Great Cookie Award. Airplane Arm says peace. Peace. No, it's not over yet. Don't do that. People will leave. We've got our daily unbreaded. Did you receive the Matthew Harris PC probable cause affidavit? Oh, yeah, I did. We should pull that up too. I think I got that. You sent that to me in email, right? Oh, and by the way, the person who sent me the Dane County media coordinator, thank you for that. I did. I sent that. I sent that earlier to Mr. Birch so that he can contact them. The problem I have with contacting the media coordinator for the county is I'm live streaming while he's at work, and I'm done by when I'm done, he's already gone. Because I called him the other day and wasn't able to get through. But Mr. Birch will call him in the morning and try and get the information we need. Okay. Harris. Oh shit. Where did you send the Matthew Harris link to the probable cause statement? Fuck. Can you tag me and tell me where you sent it? I don't seem to have it in email. Ever going to do another big brain panel? Yeah, the problem with the big brain panel right now is that that Mr. Peacock is not available to do them. Mr. Birch is busy, and the amazing Technicolor Cape lawyer Josh is also very, very busy. Oh, we've got it there. Thanks, C. Goody. Finally did something useful. Just kidding. I kid. Wasn't useful at all. Wait, this is Christopher Harris. Oh, Matthew Christopher Harris. All right, here we go. Transmission of threats in interstate commerce, United States District Court for the District of Colorado. Oh, we should, Branca should go visit. I think he has an obligation to the stream to do that. So here we go. This is in Boulder County. Terminal insanity. Elijah went unbreaded. What happened? What did he do? Sam, the next Drex stream, I think Drex is going to come out on Wednesday or Thursday. So we should have a Drex stream really soon. Oh, and he gets to use his big black microphone. Where is that? Here, I'll show you. Be right back. So yeah, I was tired of Drex's mic picking up shit. It makes it really hard to do video because he had, so I have a dynamic mic that you speak right down into the pee hole of the microphone. And the mic I had for him was a condenser mic, I think is the distinction. And his, you have to speak across the shaft of the microphone to put it in proper terms. Um, and uh, and his mic picks up a lot more of the room. So when we were in the same room together talking, and I'm talking towards him, his mic would pick up my voice and stuff like that, and it picks up stuff from the screen when we have the speakers on. It makes it really hard to balance the audio out. So I got I got him a big black microphone. So this is the RE20 for black people. So that I know which one is his and which one is not. It says that it's for the blacks. So there you go. I'll have to get him set up when he gets here. Oh, speaking of the blacks, what's up, Brittany Venti? How you doing? Ortelio says, happy copyright strike day. Today is my birthday, and I would not mind a toast. Well, I would not mind giving you a toast, Ortelios. Switch over to Lagavulin. Yeah, guys, I had the pleasure of hanging out with Brittany Venti down in Dallas, which is a ton of fun. And had a good time. She's great. Make sure you check out her channel and see what she's got going on. So with that, Ortelios, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Men have two cycles in life. The ramp up and the wind down. Right? That's it. We ramp up to peak and then coast down the mountain happily until we land in a grave. That's how it goes. I mean, sometimes there's a rock slide and you fall all the way to the bottom really fast, but typically speaking, getting rid of outside circumstances, our birthdays are treasures because as men, we are artificially impacted and impeded by people's perceptions about our age. You can be the smartest and most competent person in the room, and they will think you're too young. You don't know. You don't whatever. It's a particularly male trait. Women have the opposite sort of thing going on, right? Women are valued highly when they're young, and then they tend to be ignored as they get older, which isn't fair either. But that's the way these two things work out. But a man's birthday for a big chunk of his life is always a step towards being recognized for his own talents rather than ignored for his youth. And so to Ortelios, I say, cheers, brother. May this be one further step up the mountain. I hope you find the peak or the plateau soon so that you can get everybody out of your fucking way and do your manly duties and make a goddamn thing of yourself. Or if you're already doing that, congrats on coasting down the mountain. The slide down is much easier. Cheers, buddy. Happy birthday. Mephisto's movie reviews says, Nick, I sent you a reminder email about the movie podcast scheduling. I know that you're busy, but would love to set things up. Yes, I got it. You're on my short list. You're on my short list. MM says the RE20 is a top address mic. The Audio Technica is a side address mic. Yes, down the pee hole or across the shaft. That's what I said. Why is this complicated? Okay. Attorney Tom is on everyone's short list. Richard Cranium says, damn it, I failed. None of my jokes tonight were worthy of anyone's mention. I failed, Mom. I failed again. It's all that Ricada guy's fault. The chat was fucking flying, asshole. That's funny. That was gold. That was beautiful. Okay, here we go. Here's the criminal complaint. Before we do the unbreaded segment, we've got to check what's going on. So, transmission of threats in interstate commerce, signed by Stephanie Benitez, Special Agent, FBI. Okay, let's get this statement. Affidavit in support of criminal complaint. Your affiant, Stephanie Benitez, a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, being a duly sworn and deposes and states as follows, to wit, I'm a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Department of Justice, and have been so employed since 2002. I'm currently assigned to the Denver division of the FBI, specifically to Loveland Resident Agency, Boulder offsite, which covers Boulder, Colorado. I'm assigned to work all criminal matters to include threatening communications. Prior to my assignment in Boulder, blah, 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 all this stuff. This affidavit is being submitted in support of a criminal complaint and affidavit charging Matthew Christopher Harris with a violation of Title 18 USC Section 875C, which prohibits the transmission in interstate or foreign commerce any communication containing any threat to kidnap any person or any threat to injure the person of another. Due to the limited purpose of this affidavit, your affiant has not included each and every fact. There are more facts that we would bring about at trial. This is just sufficient for probable cause, blah, 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 blah. Investigation on January 21st, 2021, Harris, who is a philosophy professor at UCLA, sent his mother, Roslyn Harris, an email from Matthew W. Harris, 732 at gmail.com with subject titled Plans to Murder Catherine Ritchie in September when UC Irvine reopens with an MP5 for giving me schizophrenia. Dr. Catherine Ritchie is a professor at UC Irvine and a former acquaintance with Harris. Is this the chick? Is this the chick? We've got to find out what she looks like. Dr. Catherine Ritchie. I'm going to check it out. Dr. Catherine Ritchie, UC Irvine. This is 100%. We have found, I guarantee this is who he went full simp for. This is who he is mad about. This is everything he says. Is all her stuff taken down? That's not her. All right. A lot of these things have been taken down. But there is a picture of her. Wait, does she have a... Is this her? Yes. Okay, this photo's really blurry. So I've got a couple photos over here. Okay, so here's her profile picture. That's her profile picture there. And then here you can get an idea of what she looks like as a, like a full person, but it's a blurry photo. She's blonde, very blonde. She looks young. She's pretty. This is who he's writing about. This is who he's writing about. This is who he went full simp for, and she rejected his advances, probably for a white man, and it broke him. It broke him. That's what did it. That's the face that did it. That's it. You always got to know what's the cause of his crazy, and that's it. It's just her. He wanted to have sex with her, and she didn't have sex with him, apparently. What a waste. What a waste of your fucking sanity. A woman didn't have sex with me. I'll fucking kill all the bikes and the blinks. Can you imagine this shit? Shin-chan 256B says, I'm officially writing an 800-page Word document titled Unmodded. It will encompass information of a mod union where we will bargain for 40% of daily super chats. 30% will be split equally between mods and 10% for union fees. Good luck. Good luck. If you think I'm going to fire you because of your threat to unionize, you're not getting out of this shit that easy. She also has a website. Let's see. Let me pull it up over here just in case. And again, as very important. Oh yeah, it's that same picture on her about page. She only has the one picture on there. It's a very important note whenever we're contacting a person. This person is potentially a victim of a crime, and has there is no need, cause, or use to contact or bother this person in any way. I would very specifically discourage any of that behavior. This is someone who is being, in some ways, potentially harassed and stalked by a crazy motherfucker. So just in case that was not clear, I think everybody knows, but just because we look into someone does not mean that they deserve any sort of things. They deserve peace in their lives the same way we all want peace in ours. So here we go. Let's see. Dr. Catherine Ritchie is a professor at UC Irvine and former acquaintance with Harris. The email to Harris's mother stated, quote, just so you know, I'll probably be moving closer to Irvine's campus so that I can hunt this bitch down and put bullets in her skull. Holy fuck. My psychiatrist said good luck and told me I have schizophrenia. Now I get shouted at all day, and frankly, I'm ready to go Chris Dorner on these white people. Damn. Chris Dorner was the cop who went on the shooting rampage, right? Was he a cop? I feel like Chris Dorner was a cop. And he was a former officer of the LAPD. Yeah, committed a series of shootings in Orange County. Yep. Chris Dorner's the dude who looks like fucking LL Cool J. Can we appreciate how much this man looks like LL Cool J? Look at this. Look at this guy. How's this guy a mass killer? But he very much is. Very much. He looks like LL Cool J went to the buffet. Back to this. So now I get you. Yeah. Catherine Ritchie will be the first person as soon as the campus opens in September. I'm spilling that bitch's skull. At the time, Roslyn did not notify law enforcement about the email. Now, notice he also did not go murder people in September. He didn't do that. On March 22nd, 2020. Oh, Jason McConnell says, I was shamed with the mark of the mod a year and a half ago. Since then, I've done nothing. Ergo, I'm already acting unionized. The mods are encouraged to do nothing. They're encouraged to do nothing, and that is great. That is great. The mod should not be. Well, I mean, it is a burden of homosexuality, but it should not be seen as a reason to do something. It should be seen as just recognition that you exist, you're validated, and you are loved. Until you fuck up. On March 22nd, 2021, Harris sent Rosalind another email which read, quote, I'm ready to be dead, frankly, but I'm not going to hurt anyone else. Honestly, the soonest I can find a way to shoot myself and get away from this shit, the better. I'm currently looking into the local gun ranges, and although I can't afford it until I get paid at the end of the month, I'm just letting you know that I plan on finishing this as soon as humanly possible. I'm planning to be dead by early April. At the time, Rosalind did not notify law enforcement of the email. So again, he's even failed at killing himself. For almost a fucking year, this guy has failed at killing himself. Mandy Karavichus says, I had a guy online do that to me. He sent me rants and said if we did not meet and fuck, he'd off himself. I blocked him and haven't been on Discord since. Did he do it? Like, I don't recommend sending him a do it pussy, but some people need a do it pussy sent to them. Here we go. On March 27, 2021, Harris sent Rosalind another email which read, is UC Irvine reopening for classes in person? March 30th, Harris, who was assigned to a research group during the winter quarter, was reported to the UCLA Police Department as a subject of concern after he sent approximately 20 emails to various female students in his research group, which contained offensive, inappropriate content. The emails featured links to YouTube videos with titles such as Training Little Girls, Christopher Dorner Idolization, and Beat a Feminist Unconscious. Oh, shit. There's a YouTube video entitled Beat a Feminist Unconscious? What the hell is that? What is this video? Let's see. Beat a Feminist Unconscious. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that title. I wonder if it's been taken down since then. What is this? Okay. Female recruits square off with men. SAS season 4. I've watched that video. Ronda Rousey knocked out in 48-second fight. When men fight back. Brutal TV. Okay, none of that is. I can't find the video. It could be in there. Oh yeah, and it could be his video. That's true. It could have been his video. On April 10th, several UCLA philosophy department members were forwarded an email from Rosalind, which indicated Harris was unwell and made disturbing comments about his old colleagues. April 12th, UCLA PD received an email from Chris Silva, UCLA. This is all still months ago. The UCLA Behavioral Intervention Team Coordinator, which had a detailed phone conversation he had with Rosalind. He forwarded the following information in summary. Rosalind lives in NorCal with her husband, Dennis. Rosalind has not had a good relationship with her son, Harris, for the past 2 years due to him communicating threats to her via text and email. Rosalind had not seen her son for approximately 5 years till he suddenly showed up at their residence in NorCal, North Carolina. Not NorCal, North Carolina, not North California. North Carolina last week. Rosalind noted her son has been acting strange and started reviewing a series of emails he had been sending her for the past year. Emails contained threats to her, her cat, and to Dr. Ritchie from UCLA. Rosalind described the threats as violent and specific, and she did not want to share them with Dr. Ritchie because of what they said. Rosalind was currently sleeping with a knife next to her and with her cat in the room with her because she feared what Matthew Harris might do to them in their sleep. Rosalind Harris had been shoved by Matthew Harris the day prior after she knocked on his bedroom door and he closed it on her. Rosalind was shoved hard enough. She hit the wall behind her. Rosalind did not know her son to abuse drugs or alcohol, and she did not think he had been diagnosed with any mental illnesses. So I think I originally read that as she needed a guard cat, but I think she was protecting the cat. I think that's what was going on. I think that's what was happening. Rumble username Sucks says, beat a feminist unconscious. We must watch this video. It might be one of his archive videos. I'll check. Someone sent me a file dump of the videos, but I'm not going to check on this live stream. On April 13th, Silva forwarded UCLA PD several emails from Rosalind, which had been sent to her by Harris, to include the email sent January 21st regarding Dr. Ritchie. On the same date, Sergeant Fabiola Leon was made aware of these emails. She notified Dr. Ritchie of the death threats made by Harris. Dr. Ritchie was shocked of the seriousness of the threats and wanted to pursue charges. Again, back in April. They move fast, apparently. The problem is he didn't communicate the threat to her, and he may not have had any reasonable expectation that the threat would be communicated to her. But what he communicated, if his intent was to deliver the threat, was definitely a threat. I'll put bullets in your skull is a threat of violence. And that is what we would call a true threat if it was communicated with the requisite intent, which is what the state would have to prove here. And to be clear, I'm not justifying the language of his emails. They're very unprofessional. But the question is always in the law whether or not a threat is actually a threat. And there's parts of it that you have to have the intent because it's still an intent crime. And then the other part of it is that so the intent is that you have to intend that the target of the threat reasonably will receive communication of the threat. So him communicating that to his mom, unless his mom would have some relationship with this doctor that he would think that she would send it, is a difficulty in their analysis. And the other part of it is that the threat is a true threat, not an idiom, not something like that, but is intended to put the person in reasonable fear of imminent harm. Whether or not that harm is actually true is not. He doesn't have. So this is a weird distinction with true threats. You don't have to intend to do the threatened action, right? So if he says, "I want to put bullets in her skull," he doesn't have access to a gun or bullets. He can't put bullets in her skull. That doesn't matter because he doesn't have to actually intend to put the bullets in the skull. What he has to intend is that she be under the apprehension of the threat. The threat itself and the communication of it, that is the intentional act. So that is a weird distinction of threats. But it's critical because some people want to threaten people with something that they couldn't possibly pull off. Like if you're online and you're a quadriplegic, like you're Stephen Hawking and you're like, "Hey bitch, I will fuck you up. I will fucking kill you when I get to your house. Boom shakalaka." Like if you're that guy, if you're doing that and they don't know you're like a quadriplegic in a wheelchair who has to drive with a straw, then that doesn't matter. If you communicate the threat, that's it, even if you couldn't possibly do it. Okay. On April 14th, UCLA PD issued a threat watch briefing on Harris. Sergeant Leon called Rosalind and encouraged her to initiate an involuntary commitment, to which Rosalind complied. Rosalind then appeared before a magistrate, which was facilitated by the Guilford County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. After the order was signed, the Guilford County Sheriff's Office and FBI served papers on Harris at 8301 Wessex Drive in Stokesdale, North Carolina, without incident. He was then hospitalized for approximately 1 month. Auto-tune. Oh no. I doubt it. So he was hospitalized. On or about May 12th, Sergeant Leon learned from the FBI that Harris had flight plans to return to LA from North Carolina. On the same date, Sergeant Leon called the LA County Courthouse line in order to request a gun violence emergency protective order for Harris. Same date, Honorable Teresa McGonigal granted the order. June 1st, UCLA PD Sergeant Leon sought a 21-day temporary restraining order prohibiting Harris from going near any California college campuses, having contact with Dr. Ritchie, and possessing any firearms. Sergeant Leon explained all of these restrictions with Harris and also provided him with a copy of the temporary restraining order. June 7th, another restraining order, 3 years, was granted in Los Angeles County, which was filed by University of California Regents, barring Harris from California college campuses, Professor Ritchie, and the possession of any weapons. Per legal counsel representing University, Harris did not appear at the hearing in person or remotely. The court authorized mail service to Harris to notify him of the extended restraining order. May 10th, FBI Special Agent Corey L. Kyle contacted UCLA PD Sergeant Leon regarding Harris, a former UCLA associate professor, and possible threats made by Harris to another professor. May 12th, Special Agent Lyle was advised by Sergeant Leon that Harris was contacted in Los Angeles and served with an emergency gun violence protective order. Lyle submitted the gun violence protective order to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System Section, NICS, to make Harris a prohibited possessor of firearms. Lyle was notified by NICS that Harris was entered into NICS with an expiration date of July 1st, 2021, based on the expiration of the initial restraining order. June 7th, workplace violence restraining order was obtained. Blah, blah, blah. A bunch of restraining orders. February 1st, 2022. So this is May 21st, then June 8th. Confirmation of the June 4th, of the order that was extended through June 4th, 2024. This is the 3-year order they talked about. So from June 8th, nothing happens. February 1st, I spoke to Roslyn, who informed she had not been in contact with Harris for approximately 5 months, but I learned he had moved to Colorado sometime in the summer of 2021. Roslyn also confirmed Harris was involuntarily committed for approximately 1 month and was told by his doctors that he had schizophrenia. Ty says, who is this guy? This is the unbreaded guy. Unbreaded. On February 1st, I learned that Harris was issued a Colorado driver's license on November 2nd, 2021. Additionally, on February 1st, your affiant learned that Harris attempted to purchase a firearm at the Silver Bullet shooting range. On the same date, I visited the website associated with the Silver Bullet shooting range, a firearms range business located in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. The homepage section of the site identifies the business as the best and friendliest indoor pistol and rifle range shooting facility. Pistol and rifle shooting facility in the entire Denver metro area. Well, that's inviting. A link present on the homepage is titled Gun Shop with a subheading Consignment Sales for Your Guns. When I accessed the link, I observed numerous advertisements of firearms for sale. Well, considering he was unable to acquire a gun or presumably bullets, I guess he was unleaded. Also on February 1st, Federal Bureau of Investigation Task Force Officer Michael Thrapp interviewed gun shop employee 1, an individual whose identity is known to me. Among other things, employee advised Thrapp that GSE 1 is the manager of the Silver Bullet shooting range, told Thrapp that the Silver Bullet shooting range maintains rejected applications for the acquisition of firearms. Applications are maintained as Bureau of ATF and Explosives Form 4473. And associated records for Matthew Christopher Harris with Harris's date of birth. I reviewed a copy of these records. Section A identifies the type of firearm Harris sought to purchase as a 38 caliber Smith & Wesson model bodyguard revolver with a serial number. Section B contains the following information. Harris's full name appears as a transferee buyer. His residence is listed. His birthday and social security number. Answered no to question 21F, which states, have you ever been adjudicated as a mental defective or have you ever been committed to a mental institution? So he lied on his 4473. Charge him with that. Charge people when they lie on the form. I think the number is something like 80,000 people lie on 4473s each year. And that the amount of times they charge it is like 100, if that. Harris signed the form attesting the truthfulness of his information. Date accompanying his signature is November 2nd. Section C, completed by the transfer seller, relates that Harris provided a temporary Colorado driver's license as information. His request to purchase a firearm was denied because of the NCIS thing. Also on February 1st, I reviewed criminal history information from the National Crime Information Center for Harris. These records reveal that Harris is prohibited from possession and or purchasing a firearm as a function of an active restraining order issued in California, dated June 15th. However, the information I received also states not served, so they didn't serve him the restraining order. January 31st at approximately 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Harris sent an email to 35 individuals from his Matthew Harris 468 at yahoo.com, directing them to a Google Drive containing an 803-page manifesto titled Death Sentences by Matthew C. Harris. He also directs them to his YouTube channel, which contains a video called UCLA Philosophy Mass Shooting, which depicts Harris talking with images from the 2003 movie 0 Day, which depicts a movie version of the surveillance cameras at the Columbine school shooting. In his death sentences, he makes several references to killing a friend named Richie and a cousin named Richie. Your affiant does not know if this is a veiled reference to Dr. Richie. Several of the recipients of the email contacted the FBI, including Bonnie Veronese. Veronese advised the email and attachments contain several threats to UCLA and Duke universities, political figures, former coworkers, and former students. Within the email titled Death Sentences by the Binger, Dr. Matthew C. Harris, they tried to sneak that one in on me. They tried to sneak that in. They put it on a new line in the middle of this official document. God damn, lucky I hadn't drank too much. Is an 803-page manifesto outlining Harris's hatred for various entities. Harris stated, kill all crackers for being the enemy of Bingers for 450 years, repetitively over 23 pages. Hunt, track, trace, execute, kill every May and congressman. Bingers, kill the president, kill all non-Bingers. Mass murder is the only way, end America, and many more threats. Harris mentions by name former head of the philosophy department, Gavin Lawrence, former students Luca Gidwani and Katrina Akbarian. You know what happened here? They rejected his suave advances. On January 31st, 2022, your affiant briefly reviewed the 803-page document and through a word search noted these words appeared in alarming frequency. Wait, I noticed one word is distinctly missing from the word search. Kill approximately 7,512 times. Death approximately 452 times. Murder approximately 253 times. Die approximately 711 times. Shoot approximately 2514 times. Bomb approximately 2489 times. Blow up 26 times. Stab 73 times. Drown 19 times. Rape 111 times. To put that into perspective, that's rape. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that 111 times, but that would have been funny. The manifesto contains numerous and repeated quotes advocating acts of violence against various racial and ethnic groups, including kill everyone who is not a Binger, kill Whoite civilization, shoot every mayor who is Asian, shoot all Asian politicians, shoot all the Asian store owners and college students, shoot all the Asian business owners and lawyers, shoot all the Asians, shoot all the bikes too. Binger, kill all the children of other tribes, kill all their kids. Below are additional quotes observed in the manifesto. None of this, by the way, is a threat. I want to point that out. This is crazy ranting, but this is not a threat. Absent a whole lot more. And that this goes all the way back to Brandenburg versus Ohio, the Supreme Court case on threats and hate speech. This would not qualify as a legal threat. Below are additional quotes observed in the manifesto. Holy shit, Mundane Matt, get out and protect your legacy. Burn and attack Boulder outside by the university. The Boulder King needs to intervene. Genocide them, my Binger. Schoolyard massacre, university disaster. Take your pick. Kill her at the university where she works. Assassinate the Toms at the university. Hunt them where they work. Find out when they will have company gatherings or university welcomings. Kill their children at freshman orientation. Shoot them at the opening weekend. Bombs at middle schools. No threats. Shotgun Columbine University slang. Kill the board of trustees at every university. The richest get shoot in the skull. Their children aren't protected at university. Their children. Sandra pretended to be my soulmate and bounced, even though I moved to her backyard of Boulder, Colorado. She never commuted. She could have been my John Benet Ramsey. Why isn't my mother dead yet? John Benet Ramsey is like 10. Oh, yes. We've got just 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning. The YouTube stream may go down. I'll have to check I'll check the copyright status in 1 minute and see what happens if the YouTube stream stays up. But just in case, if it does go down, go immediately to Rumble and I'll read the super chats and everything. We'll keep the show going, or Odyssey, obviously, either one of those. Genocide them, my bingers. Oh, wait, I read that one. Shit. Set fire in the woods near mansions or gated communities. Do this all across the country. Do it in Grapevine, Los Angeles. Do it in Boulder, Colorado. Do it everywhere rich crackers live. Even if they have insurance, they'll be horrified as they watch their mansions and wealth become a target for violence. Kill the fathers of Boulder High School. I'd rather get my dick sucked by some white girl named Sandra who is like, my daddy wouldn't like me talking to no bingers. And then I kill her family and kidnap her. Sandra threw me off. What a giant pussy. I'm going to do this. Sandra threw me off. Nasty witch. I can pause the video and see her ugly. Why did you love Sandra? Because was blonde and deceptive. A witch, not a baby like Pam. Typing this just outside the home of John Benet Ramsey, he says. God, what a fucking bitch this guy is. On January 31st, your affiant spoke to Sergeant Leon. We got 2 pages left of this. And advised after they learned of the threats posted by Harris, they initiated an emergency ping and learned Harris was in Boulder. January 31st, your affiant spoke with Boulder Police Sergeant Michael Heath. Sergeant Heath was notified that Harris was in Boulder. The Harris, not that Harris, Colorado, by his chain of command. Sergeant Heath learned through law enforcement databases that Harris had a new address. This address was within the ping radius formerly initiated by the UCLA PD. Sergeant Heath alerted the University of Colorado Police Department of the threats posted that day. Sergeant Heath and a team member responded to Harris' address. During that time, the officers observed Harris briefly exit his residence, yelling profanities and appearing to be highly agitated. Officer briefly lost visual sight of Harris. The police then heard more yelling coming from Harris' apartment. In order to verify his whereabouts, they conduced another ping of his cellular phone, which put his apartment in the ping radius. Sergeant Heath also attempted 2 phone calls to Harris' phone with no answer. Police then attempted contact at the door. Harris spoke to the officer through the door, but refused to come out. Time was approximately 1:30 a.m. Okay, now that a couple minutes have passed by, I'm going to check the video. The video itself is actually still up. And I think we'll see. So who knows when this strike is actually going to occur? This is the ambiguity that's really fucking irritating. Still pending removal. So who knows when that's going to happen? All right. On February 1st, your affiant was notified by FBI Special Agent Bradley Mavis that Bonnie Verones forwarded him an email sent by Harris at February 1st, February 1, 2:49:25 a.m. The email contained the following: "You stupid Caucasoids and bikes teach actual Nazis like Heidegger and Kant and Carnap. Fuck UCLA. all of those fucking pieces of shit. When this Binger says his own philosophy, fucking get shot the fuck up, you caucasoid bike faggots. No, I didn't open the door for the popo, so fuck whoever tried to tase me. Fuck you. The more you try to stop this message, the more violence you're gonna unleash. So there you go. That's this is approaching a threat directly to the people intended. Fucking get shot the fuck up, you caucasoid bike faggots. That's pretty close. I think they could probably pull it off. The email also contained links to music and videos that appeared to be created by Harris on youtube.com, soundcloud.com, Apple Music. Listen to my mixtape, bitch. These videos depicted Harris speaking, playing instruments, and describing plans to harm others. The videos also played footage from a mass shooting in Las Vegas and from the movie 0 Day, which depicts a movie version of the Columbine shooting. February 1st at approximately 11:07 p.m. after receiving communications from Boulder Police Department SWAT, Harris voluntarily exited his apartment and was taken into custody. State probable cause charges of harassment. Based on the above caption information, it's requested that a warrant be issued for him for the federal crime of threats. Yeah, I think they'll be able to prove this case. Based on the emails. Based on the emails. Not based, I mean, the crazy manifesto will be, introduced to show the guy's a fucking weirdo. But the emails are what really do him in. Those specific emails with specific communicated threats. That's the problem for him. All right. Yeah, make sure, by the way, if you're signing up to the people over on Rumble, I put it up on the wrong channel today. So make sure you're actually signed up to both. I will try and rectify that and stream from the appropriate channel tomorrow and every other day. I'm still learning their system and the like main page plus the channel system that they do is to me, it's a little weird, a little cumbersome. Okay, here we go. It's time for Unbreaded. Unbreaded. All right, here we go. $208. 208. Boom. Perfect. How could it possibly be better than this? This highlighting is not done by me. I don't know if he did it or if someone else did it, but the highlighting is not mine. And Martin, the space is the correct thing, the channel that I'll be streaming on. All right. So this is our daily unbreaded. This is the manifesto of accused terroristic threat person and proposed mass shooter Matthew C. Harris. So from the book of Matthew, it says, rap and hip hop are only for destroying the enemies of Binger. Here we go. Got to get into it. Got to loosen up. Don't rap and brag about the fact another man put your car together. The big smart white man put my car together. Okay, I got to stop. Do white people build cars anymore? Pretty sure it's Asians and Mexicans building most of the cars. I think maybe I'm wrong on that. Sorry, let me go back. I'll start over. That just struck me. Okay. Don't rap and brag about the fact another man put your car together. The big smart white man put my car together. I won't even make fun of you. It's not even funny. Snipe them where they live. Snipe them in the streets. Snipe them in their homes. Staple that shit to the back of their mouth. Nail that shit to he back of the kneecaps. Break their legs and nail that shit to City Hall. Just the calf muscles with names on them. Rename every college named after a white man. Rename Brown. Rename every school. Rename every college. If it ain't 50% Binger, make it a target. Send our men to college for free. And if not, the college is a target for the war. It's beyond time to attack. If they want to sing our music, that makes them targets too. Binger should be the only ones who get credit for our souls. If someone else wants to steal our shit, kill them in the street and set their bodies on fire and nail their legs to town hall. It's time to see the enemies of Binger's bodies hanging. Body parts. Our enemies must hang, and Binger must cease hanging out. It's time to see our enemies suffer. It's time for payback, atonement, retribution on behalf of Binger. It's time to see Binger painted in the blood of his enemies. That's where rap goes. Hip hop must go to the next level. They thought they caught up with Binger. It's time for gangsta rap to become what it always needed to be, hunting down the enemy. New gangsters is those that kill our enemies and wear the blood. A gangsta dyes his own shirt in the blood of the enemy. Anyone who ain't on that ain't doing shit. Everything else is finished. Tommy sold it all away. Everything else is finished. And you, Binger, knew that already. Commandment 3, see red. Martyrdom, not suicide. Binger who are close to death or suicidal should invest in their death. Every Binger who considers death or killing himself should stand towards hunting down the enemy of Binger. Don't let anyone take what Binger value. Binger let them take too much. They must die. Stop letting them live. Commandment 4, normality. Don't ever make the best of it. Stop selling things back to them as oddities. Stop making yourselves bizarre and odd. Stop selling gentle Binger sideshows to amuse them. Never kill that with fire. Don't ever convince yourself that a man is a woman or that a man is enough when you need many women. Don't ever convince yourself that mud and dirt is a fountain water. It ain't fountain drink, Binger. That's dirt you're chewing. Don't ever convince yourself you're going for a jog when you're rolling down the hill. Kill them. Build something better. Build something new. Build yourself. Binger, our own civilization. They are not welcome. Commandment 5, victimize. They are not welcome except as hostages. None of them are welcome. None of them are welcome. If you see anyone trying to let them in as anything but a hostage, you murder them. They have betrayed your soul. They are a traitor both to you and themselves and this civilization as a whole. Stop being patient with those traitors. Stop being kind to them. You know it's time to murder them. I'm talking about. Whew. There we go. This has been our daily unbreaded. Our daily unbreaded. So there's that. Wow. You know what's funny? This guy has his foot half in the door of so many different competing philosophies that it's crazy, right? He's got anti-feminism in there. He's got pro Black Lives Matter in there. He's got anti-white, well, pro Black Lives Matter. I said that. But he's got anti-Jew stuff in this thing, anti-Asian stuff. But the whole like rename all the colleges, rename them brown, 50% blacks in all colleges. I mean, that's the BLM shit. I mean, that's the same shit that they all that they're purporting. Stephen Crater says, if you want to check it out after stream, I sent you a DM on Twitter with a bookmarklet to capture rants. If not, no worries. SC Medic 71 says, a reading from the first book of Harris, peace be unbreaded. 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 Okay. That is that. I think we're gonna go ahead and read super chats and wrap up the show. I think there was one more chat here on Odyssey. Yes. The Red Dev Ved says Chris Dorner is an American hero. Might be a little bit of a stretch. Great US says same video mentioned before from Viva Barnes equals CEO explains why hate speech has to be included, i.e., Canada fucked up or canned fucked up leftist views. They are relocating to Florida for that express reason, i.e., more freedom than what Canada offers. Also, YouTube mods suck each other after gay thirds. Wait, that's an amazing, like, what a testament. So Rumble is expressly moving to Florida to promote free speech. They're relocating countries for freedom. Holy shit. Thor Colonel says Odyssey is like the middle child, never gets any love, just an afterthought. I'm reading the Odyssey chats right here. The first one's read. I already actually read most of them. And most of them are for like a penny. Fuck you guys. Okay. All right. Rumble is caught up, and here we go to YouTube chats. C Goody says Rumble stream isn't live. Well, it was. I just have it. I had it on the. This is way back. We've now established that I just figured out how to put it up on the wrong channel. Tyler M says going to be super Reddit if we lose you on here for a week. Lawn cucks be damned. Thoughts on the TMAP announcement by Kyle R made earlier? Epic as balls. I'll be looking into it. I haven't actually seen the announcement. I've got to look into it more. I see the webpage, and we'll probably talk about it tomorrow once I've had a chance to looking about it. Iric the Red says Rumble stream. Oh, wait, I read that one. JK Wynn says fell asleep to the boring AF expert earlier. Did read teacher deputy couple CP arrest super chat. Saw news vid on YouTube. Me and housemates not prepared for the whole story. Wall. Yeah, I need to look into that. That thing is crazy. Patrick Brown says, I mean, if there's a chance you're going to go down on us, here's a $5. Wink. Joe, hey, Ricada. You mentioned on the Thai Beard stream your issues with crypto with supermarkets and merchants. NCR has the software already on all those machines. It's just a matter of flipping a switch. Yeah, I know. that's the problem with them, right? that's the issue. It's the banks. It's not crypto isn't the problem. That I want to be very clear. Crypto and the individual users wanting to use crypto are not the problem. The problem is with the banks and how much power the banks have to prevent access to currency that isn't crypto, but that's still the bulk of currency being used. So again, if a bank can say a store that, like, let's say MasterCard says a store accepting crypto outside of a merchant services contract is a risk that MasterCard is unwilling to accept, it can cancel their merchant services contract and prevent them from having access to the banking program by putting them on the match list. Once a business is on the match list, you don't get credit. You don't get credit cards. You don't get business lines, and your business banking costs a whole lot more. And no one will process payments for you ever again because you're on the match list. And the match list is not controlled by MasterCard, but it can make suggestions about it. That's the scary part of it. Again, it's not a crypto problem. It's my problem with crypto will save us is that we still need the people implementing everything to adopt it. And they're not going to. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Toar Call is short for Thomas R. Collins, which was taken on Twitter in 2012. Oh, okay. What's up? How's it going, Thomas Collins? Mandy Karavichus says, Did you know Florida men put used condoms in their pockets to troll the police who search them? It's hysterical. That's disgusting. Good job. Zalcor says, as much as I'd like to send cash, I'm avoiding banks like a plague. No, I do appreciate all donations, but the way I tend to handle things is very very simply. I try to do $25 or $20 plus first from everything to kind of keep the flow of the show going as good as possible. And once Rumble actually implements the chat collation, I'll be adopting that there as well. And I'm trying to, I know I've missed some on Odyssey in the past, but I've got a new layout on my screen so that I can actually keep up with them in real time. I had the Odyssey chat on a different window because it was convenient, but it was inconvenient for keeping up with the chat. And as someone who has failed in implementing his own policy, I work to correct it. Okay, here we go. Bob Lagai says, Pike, who cares as long as it's cooming? Flexible Jack. CJ says, ooh, there's a Ricada Space Law channel now. Sweet. Lay Stewie says, old stock Canadian seeking political asylum, please. You may actually have a possibility of political asylum soon. Eric Winberg says, would like to see the citations from Long Crimes Response. There's only two, and they're not great. The one we looked at before. And the other one just generally says that the Copyright Act gives ownership of a creator of an audiovisual work copyright ownership. It's not, again, these are not on whatchamacallit. These are not on point case law. Brandon Daniel says, poll, who will strike first, Russia and Ukraine or Long Crimes copyright strike? Someone said that Russia has invaded, so who knows? Nikki Giannopoulos says, thanks for pronouncing my name right earlier. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for being here, Nikki. Ine Anderson, welcome to Paralegal Status. 200 Watt Studio says, stop by Palm Springs, Nick. I'll buy you a drink. We'll see what kind of schedule I'm on. Blake Dove says, doing a speech on why gun laws don't work tomorrow. Any advice? P.S. I love you. Very simple. Gun laws don't work because criminals always have access to guns. In every country, in every instance, criminals have never, ever had problems getting guns. No matter how many restrictions, no matter how ridiculous the government. If someone wants to get a gun, they'll get one. They'll really get one in a major metro area. Also says, P.S. I love you. Love you back, Blake. W. Colonial Boy says, how's about you help me with my newfound Scotch habit, boss? Sure, I'll help you. Try Lagavulin, try Lafroig, try Jura, try Ardbeg, try Bowmore 15-Year Darkest. One of my personal favorites. Got to find another bottle of that. I haven't seen one in a while. There, I've helped you with your Scotch habit. CG Robert says, PB and jam on 2 breast unbreaded. Amateur Ant, your thoughts on the U.S. trying to protect Ukraine's borders over our own? It's amazing. It's amazing hypocrisy, but we'll see. Ponton21 says, heard you were streaming on Chatterbait too, but it was just a restream on a tablet wedged between a pair of hairy cheeks. The production stinks. AJP, Nick in best Arnold voice. Nick, get to the chopper. Jennifer Genter says, I was allowed by my hallowed company to actually go in public today. My son and 3 pugs tore the house up. The world is back to normal. Cheers. Ryoji Mata says, to the man who's losing his child, we're here for you and wish you the best in these hardest of times. I was supposed to be a twin, but before I was born, there was a complication with him and he died. Ashton Upton says, Nick, if you were the prosecutor or defense lawyer in a trial that was live streamed, who would you want to be the main legal commentator? Well, if I was a prosecutor, the main legal commentary would be Satan because I'd be in hell. If I'm the defense attorney, main legal commentator I want. Fuck, I don't know. Here's what I want. I want Nate to predict me to win because he's got a pretty damn good track record. Susmart15 says, I'm not very computer savvy, but I joined Rumble and there's no chat while watching your live stream there, or am I just not seeing it? You might just have to scroll down farther. Depends on if you're in the app. Ponton21, the MASH outdoor set was in Thousand Oaks, California. It was used for helicopter scenes. The intent scene were a soundstage. I know for sure because I went to it as a kid during a local summer camp. Dees says, I heard this channel was getting banned tomorrow. It may be. The YouTube stuff is ambiguous on it, but we'll see. Ty Dollar Sign says, happy 2/22/22 Tuesday. S Cybertaz says, authorization for emergency use is not the same as official FDA approval. Federal Agent 47, would it be a bad idea for any American to transit through a Canadian airport who gave to the trucker convoy? That's a good question. I don't know. They can't seize your bank account if your bank is based in the U.S. That's the only good news. Your U.S. bank cannot be seized in response to the Canadian emergency powers at this point. Now, the U.S. could implement some similar thing, allowing the freezing of assets. The Dragon Axe 1981 says, hey, Nick, please, the next time you want a new fantasy sci-fi setting to explore, check out Griffin's Library on YouTube, 25 years and my life's work. Yeah, well, I'll have to do that. I don't know when I'll have time, but Griffin's Library on YouTube, guys, check it out if you like fantasy sci-fi settings. Bad Vibe says, since Nick fails at math, he couldn't be an astrologist. He would have to be a proctologist. Only way he would see asteroids. Willem Dafoe Gaming. So love your thoughts on the differences in the Christian sects. As an Enochian Christian, I reject all heathen written books of the Bible except the one true God-inspired book of Enoch. There you go. The book of Enoch is wild shit, man. I love it. Midlands 1072 production says, United, you keep using the word exemption. I don't think it means what you think it means. Amateur Ant, every time an Antifa dies, Morgan Freeman gets another freckle. Otto Rommel says, Trudeau made a political move and changed the Emergency Powers Act vote into a no confidence vote on him, which would have forced a national special election in 6 months. What a fook is this? Says 185 yay, 151 nay in our Congress for Emergencies Act. Goes to our Senate now to see if it's valid. Want to sponsor a Canadian for immigration, Nick? I'll even call you dad. Good luck, brother. Good luck. I don't have any spare rooms, man. Fist Fight Caleb says, I'm new here and I now feel more violated by the government than ever after that description. Lol. It's a crying shame, says, reminder, Canadians used to mock and ridicule America for not being so liberal and anti-gun as them. Still do a lot of times. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn says, Krista Freeland is the granddaughter of a Nazi. Surprise, surprise. Ultra 65, welcome to Paralegal. Snuggle Struggle sent a lawyer chat, member chat, says, love the show, Rackets. Any chance of hosting art meme contests, maybe? Time to bring back healthy competition. Best art or most comical meme wins? Possibly. I'll have to figure out how to do it and how to compile everything. Rumble username sucks says, what about if the bank is international and Canada asks nicely, eh? Pedo in Chief already said he supports freezing the accounts and fundraisers. It's possible. But typically your US-based accounts are going to be protected from a Canadian order. Typically. Streaky says, if people are being coerced, no medical professional should be giving a vaccine anyway. What the fuck happened to informed consent and, medical ethics? It's a very good question. They seem to be gone from today's conversation. Vienna waits for you, says, don't open those freedom legs only to be effed by tyranny. Truer words have never been spoken by a patriot as poetic as Nick. Unbreaded touchdown. Modelo, Ricada Space Law, otherworldly commentary. Ricada Space Law, subs to the moon. Ricada Space Law, unearthed. Mech Warrior says, have you been having legal problems? Have some C-bills, man. It's been fun. Clumsy Clairvoyant says, the Jose Baez trial looks eventful and starts tomorrow. Well, unfortunately, going to finish Curtis Reeves. And even though this should have been a much shorter trial, Today's testimony was brutal from the video expert. I wanted to Minecraft myself so hard. But that should be wrapping up tomorrow. The bad part about how brutally boring it was that it actually had a really important moment at the end with that slowed down video. I think that video changes things dramatically. It just took forever to get there. Didactus with David Lopez says, didn't the Book of Enoch talk about human-sized penguins? It might. I don't know. I don't remember that section, but it's possible. Clumsy Clairvoyance said, Candace says, pour one for my husband's Grams. She was a beautiful woman with a heart of gold who passed away last Wednesday. I love her. I loved her. I loved her some. I met her 14 years ago. Yeah, I got you, Candace. I got you. To Candace's husband's grandmother. In-laws are a special relationship because your family is the family you're born with and the family you're stuck with. But in-laws are the family that you choose. And how you choose them and how they choose you will impact who you are as a person. And specifically as an adult, your formative years tend to be done. And so you are met on equal terms with someone. And the love and affection that they show to you is a choice based on who you are and who they are to you. So those relationships have their own specialness. They should be honored as such. And any grandparent or parent-in-law who adopts you as their own is choosing to bring you into their family as much as you're bringing them into yours. They deserve our respect, our compassion, and our love. Cheers. Mac Borake says, what if you approach other pool members with joint ownership and get permission from one of the reasonable pool members? Have to see the media agreement. To see if that's even possible. Let's see. The Devil's Advocate says, gathers sounds like they're pretending Feist versus rural telephone doesn't exist or International News Service versus Associated Press's hot news doctrine. It's a crying shame. Sent a lime sticker. Thank you. Thank you. Jordan Chornak says, Ryan Cannell said, thumbs down, breaded. I think that's an unbreaded. Midland 1072 production says, when was the notice sent? Will likely happen then. Oh yeah, I guess I could check that. Let me see. Copyright. It was sent at 5:54 p.m. on Tuesday, February 15th. So that's maybe that's when it'll happen. We'll see. That would allow the stream tomorrow to run pretty much unmolested. Let's see. Bryce Keck. Thank you for the donation. Chris Friday says, was the one that asked the media coordinators about the cameras, Court TV owned Edgecombe. Oh, yes. Thank you, Chris. Very, very helpful. Bryce Keck says, if a defendant tells his lawyer that he committed the crime, does that limit what his lawyer can say in his defense? It depends on exactly what he says. But the question of whether or not someone did the act is not always the question of whether or not someone is guilty. And they're still entitled to a full defense of, if nothing else, their legal rights and their right to due process. Joshua Daly says, what if your case with Law and Crime goes to trial, they stream the trial, and then you restream it with your commentary? Oh, I would 100% do that. Jay says, your content is mostly pop/current events. Have you ever considered doing content on the soft white underbelly of society? I don't know what that means. Amateur. I look, I'll cover anything that's interesting or funny or whatever. Pop and current events are easy to find and research pretty quickly. And since we do a daily show, need a lot of stuff like that. But I don't know what the soft white underbelly of society actually is. Amateur Ant says, I never saw the phone throwing footage until now. However, I still say he's guilty for being a Darren and most likely instigating the confrontation after he came back from crying to the employees. Not applicable says he leans in to shoot the guy, not fearing a punch. There you go. Blaine Storm says, I'm not sick, but I'm not well. Haven't thought. I'm not sick, but I'm not well. Haven't thought about Harvey Danger for a while. Take some change for the reminder. Yeah, good, great song. Flagpole Sitta. RPGer 90 says, was a drug test done on Chad to see his BAC? I don't know. See you later, Ryan, the editor. We're almost done here. Bad Vibe says, in 6 months, Nick Knows will succumb to roid rage and take over the channel. Teresa Stray, thank you for the donation. S. Cybertaz, popcorn in theater, unbuttered. Target says, depending on where he was struck, face head, he could definitely have been dazed and still had an active aggressor in front of him. Context matters. And that's the question. And the question is not whether that happened. It's whether that is reasonable doubt. Whether the defense has raised reasonable doubt that that happened. Fistfight Caleb says, can't they easily rule the shooting unjustified, then give some sort of extraordinary lenient sentence? That's my feeling. They can. But just about any sentence for this 79-year-old man's a death sentence. Nathan Levy says, you can blame the biblical CV of the digital expert on the objections to hearsay from aging expert. Defense, okay, we'll play. Hold my beer, bitch. Spectre 180. Yeah, true. They did. They objected to the CV of the aging expert. So then when the digital expert came in, that okay, we'll spend an hour on this guy's CV. Spectre 189 says, I'd tell Baugh and Wine to eat feces, but it's probably what they're already into doing. Keep it up, Rackets. Here's a 5 and hopes the grift never ends. Crusader says, I guess Catherine is into Asians, Jews, and Italians. Or maybe Asians, Jews, and Italians are in Catherine. Who knows? That's what he seems to imply. 200-watt studio, Catherine Ritchie looks fit on paper. Touchdown. New dislike button says, Viva said he doesn't like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Man was speaking blasphemy. I've changed my mind. Down with Canada. I bet Trudeau likes Lord of the Rings. Joel Reese says, we need Professor Dreck's input on this ASAP. 200-watt studio, Chris Dorner mowing down Callie. Man with no name says, Chris Dorner uncornered. Kalea, how does one become a mod? Usually at my whimsy. Haha, love your stream. The Richards impression makes me laugh every single day. Thank you. Kayla, I usually just do it at a whimsy. The one thing I want my mods to do is basically nothing. That's the trick. You have to be willing to not do much of anything. 200-watt studio says, how upset would he be if Catherine Ritchie fell in love with his mom, Rosalind, when he took her to meet her, if she had accepted the date originally? Peter Keys says, when you drink booze through a straw, you turn into a quadriplegic. Backcoat, as Stephen Hawking, boom shakalaka, boom shakalaka. Cody says, mod yourself for that unleaded joke, 3 out of 10. Fallon. Balian says, does Brittany Venti burp nonstop IRL like she does on streams, asking for a friend? I don't recall. I don't recall her burping much in public. I don't know if she did at all. Not Heisenbear says, I know it's a little gay, but I've never been modded. Kind of mod curious. Got to stay away from that. You got to stay away from that. Spidley says, is Matthew Harris's homemade porn public record? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody's uploaded that. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. Wolfgang Deo says, I woke up today and chose Revolution unbreaded. 11 Bravo Crunchy. Morning, Nick. 2 a.m. seems like a great time to get up for work. No. Sorry, can't think of anything funny and original to say, so I guess you and your nose get a break this time. Poorly redacted. Can we get one of those Alex Jones-esque conspiracy rants in Jesse Ventura voice? Literal vampire pot-belly goblins run around coming after us. Fuck, I don't remember all the words. I don't know. I'll have to think of a good Alex Jones rant to do in Jesse Ventura voice sometime. Heinrich Berndowski says, amazing how few know that under FACTA, foreign banks, financial instruments, or institutions must snitch to the IRS about their clients if they are U.S. persons or else face consequences. Curtis, you were a mod for Mundane Matt? Oh, man. Damn. Crusader Saracen says, Book of Enoch, may St. Nicholas guide my hand as I smack this heretic across the face. Barb Rogers, Little Miss Sunburn says, copy shite. Also says, I hope we inspire the world to become more loving and free. Wolfgang Deo says, throw phone at me, don't get it back. Blam, blam. Amateur Ant says, we live in clown world now. I never asked to be brought here. I was perfectly content in being nothing before I was born. 200 Watt Studio says, Harris was just going on a no-carb diet, unbreaded. And that's it. That's the show for tonight, guys. Holy cats. Whew. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're through the chats on all 3 channels. And everything is good. Everything is good. We will I will be putting up the Curtis Reeves live stream link in just a moment. We need to get back onto Twitch and watch an episode of Reacher. Do that very soon. Also, when Drex is here, we'll do an episode of we'll do the watch party for Don't Be a Menace. That's going to happen. So, yeah. I got nothing else. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go pretend to go to sleep. It's going to take me a while to get wound down and do all the, I got to fucking clean up shit and get everything ready. So that takes a bit too, but we'll see you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. again for the Curtis Reeves trial. It pains me every time. 7:30 is so fucking early for doing this shit for me. I know it's not early for some people who wake up earlier in the day, but for me, it's tough. It's always been tough. I don't know what it is about the morning, but I will be there. DLC with a big chat says, I was blessed to get a liver transplant 9 days ago. I'm already back home recovering. I don't think I missed one of your streams, even jacked up in the ICU. Thank you for all the entertainment. A lot of painful laughter. Salute. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Sorry about the pain, my friend, but I'm glad you got a new liver. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. And I hope everything goes well with that. The body accepts it and all of that shit. The Curtis Reeves shooting poll is closed. 3,400 votes justified, 71%, not justified, 28%. Pretty strongly on justified after that video. So we'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Touchdown. On paper, unbreaded. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost planning tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Loughborough, the spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter, as we hear lost blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dundee to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter, as we hear lost blaming tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who's